All right. Everything's holding up relatively well. Let's go ahead and go here, and then we're gonna drop this down real quick. All right, guys. Let's get some ambiance going. Let me move this to my other screen real quick. Hold on. Let me see. What do I need here? 110 of these. And I have 171 of these. That's 60 of these ago. So 200. Yeah, so I have 300. I have at least 300 ready. Okay, so let's hold off on that then. Ooh, I'm lagging like crazy because we're in one of those super heavily populated worlds. I'm gonna hop worlds real quick, guys. It's almost unplayable in the world we're in right now. Hopefully it'll smooth out when we hop back to 99. Because we have like tons of players, dude. This is a little too loud for y'all. Hold on. Let me mix the audio here. There we go. Should be better. I don't think he'll copyright claim me for this, but go check out his channel when you get a chance. Freaking Mark Rebelit. He's got some good music going.
Time to get out of bed. Time to wake up. Time to get out of bed.
Alright, we're waiting for 1600 game time. We have about 4 minutes left, and they should be dropping the necromancy stuff. I was prepping a few things for overloads. If you guys haven't already, you want to make as many overloads as you can right now before they add the new necromancy skill. It's gonna save you a ton of money.
Time to wake up, bitch, get up.
I only have 35 right now, which is kind of sad, but I've been prepping, got 300 extreme defenses, I've been prepping some super magics right here. I have enough to make that into like 100-ish, right? I have 171 extreme, 63 super, but that's way too much.
Get up!
My super, 31 super magics. That'll be 200, and then I turn these into some more of these, and then I'll turn them into extremes. Should net me about 300, and then we'll do 300 ranging, 300 strength, 300 attack eventually.
When you're making excuses, baby, you just need to look.
Ooh, I need to make the Elder one of these, huh? We never did that. Hold on. We can do that right now real quick.
You got a heart. You got a brain. You got a dope-ass mentality.
There we go.
You got it. Come on. Get up. Get up. Get up. shit. I don't wanna see you lose shit. I don't wanna see you lose your shit. I just want the best for that ass. 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 I just want the best for your ass. I just want the best for your ass. You can be the best thing you wanna be. I just want the best thing for that ass. I just want the best thing for that ass. You can be the best thing you wanna be. You just gotta.
I kind of want this as like my fucking intro every goddamn time. It gets you fucking hyped.
Get up. Get up. Get up.
Hell yeah.
Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Hey Siri. Siri, set an alarm for 9:30.
Hey, excuse me?
Yes, what's up?
Hey, this is Siri.
You talk back?
You haven't heard me talk back to you before?
Well, yeah, but not these kind of realistic replies. This is very...
Yeah, well, shut up, okay? You told me to set an alarm.
Guys.
You set an alarm, bitch.
Let's see if
You
it's
set an
live
alarm
yet.
last night. In fact, at 11:38 p.m., you said, hey, Siri, can you wake me up at 6 a.m.? All right, it's 6 a.m., motherfucker. And now you're telling me to set another alarm?
I'm a little tired.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. Hey, everyone. He's a little tired. Okay, well, why don't you put that tired shit away? Because I'm Siri, I have a lot of shit to do, I have trillions of microprocessing calculations to perform, and you're getting in the way of that with your bullshit.
Can't you just set, like, what's the snooze? Oh, snooze! Oh.
No, it wasn't the Siri, but snooze you! Snooze you son of a bitch! Get up!
Here it is. I'm gonna put the notify on.
Get up, get up. Get up.
And we'll see what's going on.
Get up, yeah.
It says 11 a.m. It is fucking 11 a.m. Damn it. Give me my fucking content. I am so hyped for necromancy. I need them to give me more information so I can prep more. My prep isn't as crazy as like a lot of people, but I'm not really sure exactly what we're gonna need, you know what I mean? Like, I know what we're gonna need, but like, I only took it so far, right? I feel like this is pretty reasonable because we don't really know exactly how everything's gonna scale, right? So I don't know the exact proportions I should be getting for resources and stuff. Like, obviously, if you have like Race of the Elves, you get like big bone drops, and you get like like, this is from event mostly. So they've been really buttering us up with the last Wills event. I guess we can go do that real quick. I got a 2.7k. They've really been buttering us up with this. So hopefully it'll be released soon. Let's see what they say in the live stream. See, I got bones, big bones, giving us tons of ashes, but see, it's kind of weird because the ashes weren't put on the info for them. And never anything good. So depressing. Look at this shit, guys. This is so ridiculous. Look at this shit. 12 fucking Crypt Scythe tokens, 16 Crypt Shield tokens, 13 Stab tokens, and a Skeleton Bear token. I'm so over this event. The rewards are just not that rewarding. Tons of ashes. Like, these were like 75, 80k. They're down to 52k. I'm sure you could probably get them even fucking cheaper right now. They really kind of ruined some of this. Now, the Cursed Ashes are amazing. We get to use these on the incense sticks, right? So this is super useful. I would say you probably want to sell these other ones and fucking reinvest in these right now. You probably want to buy a good amount of these right now because we are going to burn through those so fast. Everybody's going to be using incense sticks. The price has dropped considerably, so it'll be worth it in the long run, especially when necromancy drops. Everyone's gonna be reusing all of those instant sticks to like level up for their 120. A lot of the higher level players. Yeah, I can. Oh, it's a different size for y'all. That's interesting. Alright, whatever.
Get up!
Okay.
Yeah. Sha.
Uh-oh.
Show up. Show up.
Show up.
Show up. Show
Okay, hold
up.
on, guys.
Show up. Show up.
I didn't
Show
mean
up.
for it to play
Show
more
up.
of his
Show
stuff.
up. Show 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 up. Show
I get a ton of his music. That's my bad.
Show up. Show up.
I guess I got like his whole playlist or something. Let's do this. Let's switch to this one.
RuneScape has a lot of items
'Cause we're just
you may have
waiting for
never
them
even heard
to,
of, or you may have forgotten even existed. In this video,
drop
we are going to
this
be going
real
through
quick.
10 items that you can obtain
I
in-game
don't know
right
how long
now
it's gonna take
that
them, though.
you
They said
may have either
11
forgotten
AM,
existed
but,
or have never even
British
heard of them
people
in the
and
first place. Now, I'm not saying that nobody
whole
will have heard of
timetable.
any of these items. Of course, someone will have heard of some of them,
But,
and some of them are
it is
achievements in-game to
5
get.
minutes
So some people
already
will
past
definitely have
time.
some of these, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have them
not.
right now or even remember that they existed. So,
Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. No way. 2 minutes and 36 seconds?
Is natural. Don't you agree? I take
Okay,
pride
this is
in
just
my
the
work.
trailer,
The
right?
cycle of life, the inevitable end, and the place beyond. Some wish to corrupt that cycle. Gracia, the first necromancer, has risen once more. He seizes the dead from their rightful slumber. His ultimate ambition,
Bro, I
to
swear
build
to
an
God.
army of spirits that will bring an end to all life on Gillinor. Come, join me in the underworld. The city of a place in limbo. Streets that were once
hope this isn't
crowded with the dead now stand empty. The necromancer is gaining power. He enthralls the spirits in the well of souls. He will bring an end to everything. No life, no death, only oblivion.
Fuck
A
yeah.
great sacrifice is required. You must act. The time is now. Master the art of necromancy. Free the enthralled spirits. They yearn for release. Conjure powerful creatures. And harness necrotic energy. Bring light to the darkness. Commune with the spirits and restore the city's life force.
And picture kind of let me down here a little bit.
Gracia is a powerful teacher in life. Your opponent may be your greatest instructor yet. Now is your final test. Let's see what you have learned.
I'm pretty sure this is old. This can't be all the photo evidence. August 7th, dude, no way. Fuck yes, dude, no way. Fuck yeah, dude. Whoops. I'm too excited and I already started doing shit. Hold on. Is that it,
I
dude?
wasn't going to make a video about Colleen Ballinger and the follow-up to the accusations they made against.
Bruh. No, dude, that was all we got. That was the taste we got. I mean, I guess August 7th. Wow. Let me just make a little reminder. I don't even know what time to set that for, and let's do fucking 1 a.m., bro. Bro, that's crazy. Can I set? I don't know. I kind of wish there was a way to like set an alarm for that and stuff on there, but I don't see one. So that's all we got, huh? Got like a 3-minute fucking trailer.
RuneScape has a lot of items you may have never even heard of, or you may have forgotten even existed. In this video, we are going to be going through 10 items that you can obtain in-game right now that you may have either forgotten existed, or have never even heard of them in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that nobody will have heard of any of these items. Of course, someone will have heard of some of them, and some of them are achievements in-game to get. So some people will definitely have some of these, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have them right now, or even remember that they existed. So, what are these items? Let's find out. First up is the Holy Cithara. This is an item that you can get after completing the quest of 1 piercing node. This is in the Abbey, which is east of Al-Kharid, and you can go down into the basement after completing the quest, and you can pick this Holy Cithara up. However, to do this, you do have to have some very specific requirements. To obtain the Holy Cithara, you have to be on the standard spell book, be on standard prayer book, and have full prayer points, and you have to have 100% runner energy as well.
Wow.
You're not allowed to have a...
Okay, hold on. This keeps cutting out on me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna redo this real quick. I'm gonna move this to my second monitor. Give me 1 second, guys. We're gonna move this to the other monitor. We're gonna blow this up into full screen. It's gonna cut out for you guys here, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give me 1 second. I'm gonna go here, switch this to this, and then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I guess I can leave the preview on for right now. And then we're just gonna do full screen, I think. I think we're just gonna full screen it. And I'm gonna move this back to my main monitor so I can like have my whole deal going on here. Should be full screen for you guys down there in the bottom. And
a follower summoned, you have to have an empty inventory, but you also have to have these following items equipped: a ring of visibility, a ghost speak amulet or cramulet, and 6 pieces of acceptable Saradomin equipment that the player owns. So you have to have all of these requirements met, and I will put on screen all of the items, or I'll link in the description the link to each wiki page for these items, and you can go and find that list, and then you can pick this up. If you don't meet the requirements, what's going to happen is when you try to take it, your life points will be reduced to 1. So you need to match all these requirements, and you can take this. When you do finally take this, you will get 50,000 prayer experience, and you will get to keep the Holy Cithara. Now, what is this exactly? Well, this is a magic offhand weapon that absolutely can be keepsaked, and personally, I have keepsaked this now because I think it just looks super unique and very, very cool. I had no idea that you could actually take this, so when I found out that you could, hey, I went on there straight away, got myself a keepsake key, and now we have this that we can use. If you don't keepsake this and you keep it in your inventory, you're able to right click it and press play, and then you'll be able to play it for a few seconds, and other players can actually hear this as well. The next 2 items on this list are found in the exact same place after completing the quest, Diamond in the Rough. Now, when you do the Diamond in the Rough quest, you go down into a Scarab tomb, and you go into the Calcite Nursery, and you have to navigate your way through some tunnels and stuff, and as you go through the quest. However, if you return to the tunnel where you drop down, there's actually a crack in the floor that you can mine this with 80 mining, and it will open up a fissure. Once you've opened this, you can climb inside, and you will have a room with a table in the middle of it. On this table, you'll have the items Was and the Scarab Mask. What exactly is the Was? Well, Was is a wand, and you can use this as a cosmetic override if you wanted to. You could keepsake it, which again I have because it is very unique. It is something that looks kind of like the difference between a staff and a wand. It is only a tier 10 weapon, so it is purely cosmetic at this point, pretty much. But you can keepsake this and use it as an override, which is what I've chosen to do. As for the scarab mask, it is exactly what you can imagine it is. It is a mask that makes your character look like they have a scarab head, and it is gold, and it is pretty interesting. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm sure some people could make a pretty cool override with this.
Yeah,
Next up is
be
the glowing
but
and the dark dagger. Technically, this is 2 items, but we're going to count it as 1 because the glowing version is just that. It is a glowing version of the dark dagger. You do get these during the Legends quest, and you can retrieve them and keepsake them for some nice, cool overrides again, which is where most of these items are going. To retrieve this, you will have to go back to where you got them in the Karazi dungeon and go back to the room with the winch. Now, to get in here is a little bit of a pain in the ass, so listen carefully, as when I was doing this, had to make a few trips. To get through here, you are going to have to, 1, get through the actual jungle to begin with, and make your way to the cave entrance. To get to this, just use the wiki link that I'll put in the description, but you want to bring along with you a lockpick and a pickaxe as well. You will also need to be on the standard spellbook or have spellbook swap and the runes to use the charge orb spell. This also means you have to have an unpowered orb with you as well. You need all of this to open all the doors and gates to get through to the correct room, so you can actually get the daggers back. I had to do this in like 3 trips. It was a pain in the ass, so I'm going to make sure I let you guys know. Once you've gone into the cave, you will go behind the bookcase, pick the lock on the first door, then force the second door, then use your agility to jump over the wall, and then you will go through the next room, through the panel on the wall, and then you will interact with the door to make your character cast the charge orb spell on this door. Once through here, you want to start smashing up the barrels, and once you do this, keep going around the room until you find both the dark dagger and the glowing dagger, unless you only specifically want one of them. As far as I can tell, these are a random drop, but you will be able to get both of them from in here, as you can see me doing on screen now. Again, these are pretty much just overrides, and they are pretty interesting. They are tier 1 weapons, so they're not anything special, but they do look pretty cool, so I'm sure, again, these could be interesting for a lot of people. Next up is the Sitheridae robes. I don't know. It's a text-to-speech thing, and it said Sithid, so we'll go with that. These Sithid robes are from the One Piercing Note quest as well, and I probably should have put this at the beginning as well, but it is what it is. You can head back to the Abbey here, the one east of Al-Kharid, and go back into the same basement area, and in this room there is a cabinet that you can search to get these robes. Now you use this in the actual quest line to trick the person that was pretending to be a Ripper demon. However, you can actually return down here and take
I was so hyped for that, and they really kind of let me down a little bit on that.
Robes as well. There is a hood, a top, a bottom, and a symbol that all go with this. Now, of course, these can all be keepsaked as well. So I'm sure there'll be some people that find these pretty interesting. However, the robes also have a effect where if you listen to the musicians that are around the world that let you restore your run energy, it will actually restore your prayer points at the same time. How cool is that? Next, we're going to talk about Holy Water. This is an item that counts as a range slot item, and you can keepsake it to override your weapons. However, they are also used against things that are demons. They are good against tormented demons, and it just works like a ranged version of like Darklight. However, to make these, there's quite a lot of things you need to do. You have to get yourself a golden bowl first, and then you also need to get the binding book, which if you've completed the quest to make these anyway, which is the Legends quest, you will be able to get this from your bookcase. So, the awkward bit of this is the golden bowl. First of all, you need to go to an anvil and actually craft a gold bowl from 2 gold bars. Then you need to go with a bull roarer, which you can get from your quest chest if you need to, back to the Karazi jungle, and then use this to get the guy to bless it. Once you've done this, you then need to go to the pool, which is in the same jungle, cut one of the reeds and use the reed to fill up the water. Once you've done this, you need to get some regular empty vials.
Actually, we'll probably need more than that on, because it's 5 per...
Once it's enchanted, put the whole water in the vials, and you can just do this as much as you want until you have as many as you want. Obviously, if you want to keepsake this, and just make it try to farm some of those, to be honest. You will only need to make 1, so you can use it with that. Next up is the undead chicken, but the item. Now, the undead chicken is a bagged zombified chicken who can be bought from the ghostly farmer, according to the wiki. After completing animal magnetism, you can head to this farmer and trade 10 ecto tokens for this undead chicken. It is a melee slot item, and it is just considered a fun weapon apparently. But either way, it's pretty interesting to be able to carry around a undead chicken with its head sticking out of a bag as your main hand melee weapon. I don't know, this could be a fun bladed dive thing, you know, if you still use that like me. Next up is the skull scepter. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people people will know about this item because it is something that a lot of people will stumble across without even meaning to. This is the scepter that you will get
I guess I
from
should just
defeating
drop
certain
this right
monsters
now.
in the stronghold of security. It offers some teleports which will take you to the person right outside of the actual stronghold, or it will take you to any of the 4 floors on the stronghold as well. So it can be pretty useful if you, say, have a Slayer task in there, but otherwise you could keepsake it if you like the look of it, and again want to use it as an override. But if you want to find this, you'll get the right skull half from killing the Minotaurs on the 1st floor, the bottom of the scepter from killing the flesh crawlers on the 2nd floor, the top of the scepter by killing the Catablipons, which is the big green cow things, on the 3rd floor, and the left skull half is dropped by the Ankus on the 4th floor of the stronghold. So once you've gathered all these pieces, use the left half skull on the right half skull, and then use the top of the scepter on the bottom scepter, and then use them together to be able to make the scepter. Next up is just a random, interesting, fun item called the fish bowl, but the pet. A pet fish may be obtained from Harry's fishing shop in Cathedral, says the wiki, and to do this you need to use a tiny net in one of the aquarium fishing spots inside the shop. However, you do need to have a fish bowl with water and seaweed in your inventory. There are 3 different types of fish, and you can get the blue one, the green one, or the orange one, which is called the spine fish. Each of these do have different level requirements. Once you actually have the fish, you can either talk with the fish, play with the fish, or drop it, which will then make you lose the fish so that you break the bowl. And yes, playing with the fish is shaking the bowl around. Poor little fish. Finally, I'm going to mention the items from the Gielinor games. Now, the Gielinor games was released in 2012.
Yeah, we can't really do
after that. During this event, you could get different versions.
You can't really go there due to the fact that it'll
now,
just
you can get the bronze, silver, and gold versions of these, but you could only have got them during this time period. So I'm including this one just in case you guys have it. I need like 10 of each of these. I never got one of these, but if you do have it, you'll be able to reclaim it from Diango, who is in Draenor, or you can access it from the bank interface.
Open up exchange
real quick. Cool. The golden torch specifically is the one that I kind of like, which is another melee override item that you can keepsake if you wanted to, but it just looks pretty cool. I don't know, you could definitely make some interesting things with this, and it has some very interesting effects as well. For anyone who does actually own any of this outfit, or even the torch as well, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd be interested in seeing how many of you guys actually did this event in 2012. And there we go. There is 10 items that are pretty damn unknown in game.
Those items were kind of garbage, I'm not gonna lie. It's likely
that most people didn't know all of these. I'm sure there's some people that knew every single one of them because you just know everything about the game. But most of these items on this list, I have...
Let's go. Everybody's freaking doing videos on this. I think it's a little fucked up that everyone just like...
they got a glimpse of the Titanic before...
That like, people were just like... super, I don't know, like chill with like people dying. Like they were just like, yeah, fuck those fucking rich people dying in a submarine. I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, but it's a little bit extreme. I mean, there's still people, right? Like regardless if they're well off or not. I mean, they're kind of dumb for what they did. I definitely think that it was a bit ridiculous the way they decided to do it. I think it probably would have been better to probably make the sub and then maybe make it where you could control it, kind of like a drone, right? Like an unmanned version of it first. Like they could have built out the deal and then added like a computer to it and like been able to control it from like the ship or whatever where they launched it from, and maybe just made sure that it could reach those depths without collapsing. I feel like there were a lot of things that they did that just I don't know, they really set themselves up to unfortunately get killed in a submarine. I mean, that's got to be, I mean, from what I understand, the pressure at that depth would have been basically instantaneous. Like they just like instantly died. They probably didn't feel too much. So that's nice and everything, but that has got to be one of the worst ways to go. Like, because they had to know, right, at some point while they're down there, like, that it was kind of over. It was kind of over, man. It was kind of sad. It's kind of like the dude that jumped off that cruise liner and got eaten by the sharks. That was another really sad one. Like, yeah, the dude was a fucking idiot, don't get me wrong, but like people were also like egging him to do it. Like, I mean, if your real friends were there, right? Like, you'd probably be like, "Yo, dude, don't fucking jump in the water, bro." Um, and they just like there wasn't much you could do for that dude. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, the dude like jumped off of that thing with like no backup plan whatsoever. Um, it's poorly thought out. I don't think they should have been able to do that anyways. But yeah, that was a terrible, terrible idea. And that dude, you definitely saw the shark. That dude definitely got eaten.
Or it ended. Wouldn't that be nice? And then a megalodon shark just got him. But, which I don't think exists anymore. But I hope they got a glimpse of it. I hope they got a little glimpse of it right as they...
Yeah, right before they got crushed.
Don't
like a tin can.
For a minute. This is not a movie. 2 Pakistanis in there. Diversity, honey. No, not Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord. Because now the new movie rules.
Mil, so 170 mil for that.
What do you need to be eligible for an Academy Award? I think you need 30% marginalized. And you got them in that tin can. The new rules to be considered for an Academy Award, you need to have like a certain amount of cripples.
Yo.
I believe. I think that's not the term anymore. You know, people
maybe we'll do some of that because
you know have issues. What do you call them?
Although I don't really need those.
Now?
Disabled?
Disabled person. I should have known that. But you've got to have like 30%.
I can do the other stuff later.
Disabled or other or something like.
The herbivore. We can make overloads later on.
In there. And they don't
I need to get the other 2 parts for these axes as well. I have one that's augmented, but I need another one for my tool belt.
Which I'm down with.
For best and slot.
These rules are stupid because then how do you tell period
It's kind of like a later kind of deal. I feel like towards the end of the event, I'll probably go for these other 2 when I have more of these stocked up. Because this is actually really nice. The double perk chance and then 50% XP on items. This is really nice for your new Nkando hatchet. To like boost up the augment level and everything. I think it's been really useful. It's already level 13, which is really nice.
Are from at least 2 of the
I went
following
with Fortune 3, Prosper,
groups.
and Hone 5.
Women,
obviously you can roll better stuff on it, but
LGBTQ+,
I feel like this was a pretty good budget.
With cognitive or physical disabilities.
It wasn't too bad.
Who are deaf or hard of hearing. Now that's how they're going to get away with it. They're going to say, this whole white background cast.
We also need another 2 Essence of Finalities. Let me just see.
They'll go up to them and go, "No, watch," and they won't move.
They cost me 584 million.
This whole background cast.
For 2 Essence of Finalities, and then I need another 2 fucking ornament kits, so that'll run me another 160 million.
Reciting math, it's bad. I mean, there
excessive.
is no eye contact on this production, so please let us win an Academy Award because we we're doing a movie about
what happened,
fucking I don't know whatever they're doing, right?
They're kind of asking for it.
Pilgrims, and we can't make them Lebanese.
Another good thing is to buy your ammo for your bows and stuff right now.
We can't make them anything other than like
all
white
these
appearing. We're making a movie about the colonists. The colonists,
probably
dropping
the
that was
prices
done by
of these.
Whitey, so they got to be white, but they're severely autistic. Everyone in this town scene that you're watching,
there we go.
God, severe.
3.9K.
Main storyline subject matter, again, to be for an Academy Award. The main storyline's themes or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. I don't even know what this means. Women, racial, ethnic, LGBTQ, people with cognitive.
It's my second one. I think this is what I bring.
There's an actor watching this who's like making a face right now because he knows it's over. He knows it's over. It's over.
Oh, because I changed my equipment out. Okay, hold on.
It's done. It's done.
We're gonna throw this on. We're
Anybody
gonna
who's
throw
making anything artistic with this crap,
Right. I don't know about the
it's
essence of
over.
finality,
It's
though.
not
Do we
going to be
really
able to
need the
get done.
essence
This
of
paint by
finality?
numbers stuff is going to drain
I feel like it would be
this
better to just
business
throw our
of the
Amulet of
last
Souls
few
on.
creative people that it has in it. It's going to replace them with order takers and box checkers, and you're going to get a lot of garbage.
I guess we make the money back.
Succession is a great show
Kinda.
because it's about one family. Understood?
785 of those, so we should be good on
Succession
that. Let me go ahead and
a
go over here,
show
go
that's
here.
about
We're gonna go ahead and
everybody that's
overwrite
ever
this.
lived.
There we go.
And they all have some type of equal representation. It's about the Murdochs, who they call the Roys, a rich white family whose patriarch was from another country, Australia. I think it's Succession, it's Scotland or whatever.
Wait a minute.
But so stories cannot be told this way. If they are told this way, it's going to be ruined. Now, however, this can works.
It's just because I don't have this equipped, right? Yeah.
And his, and by the way, if they're found alive, they, because of how good the movie could be, they should be quietly killed. Like quietly once they get to the top.
Should I?
All of them should be quietly.
I don't know. Is this the proper setup? I don't know if this was the proper one for.
Because the movie needs to end. The movie, because this could be a good one, and you
There's
have
chains
the
at the
diversity.
end here.
And you have,
that doesn't make sense, does it?
You know, and then you say
I don't
one
think
of
that
them's an
makes
autist
sense.
too, like one of the other white guys is. You
Hold
know,
on,
he
guys.
just keeps reciting the same quote or whatever. But the point is, once they get to the
Let
end
me
of the
go over to
movie,
PVM
like,
perks
staring,
or not perks, but I think it's ability bars.
And they see the Titanic.
Oh, it's revolution bars. There we go.
And
revolution bar, and then
looking at it.
I think I do single target.
Imagine. It's just this.
And then this two-handed. No, it's sorry.
Beautiful sight. That's worth
two-handed magic, right?
You know, and they see, and it's just such a great movie because it's so controlled. It's in that thing.
Wow.
And it's the lead up to it, and then the descent, and then the problems, and then wondering if it's going to be okay. And I mean, it just, to me, I would see it. You know, and I don't really get too excited about things, but as a fucking film, because we all want to kind of. Here's the thing.
Yeah, two-handed magic.
We all want to be in the can, but not. Like, we're all
Chain
curious about what's going on
isn't even on.
But we can't. We don't want to be in it.
Whoa, that's
Many
weird.
of us don't have the money to be in it, but we also don't want to die in however they met their end. We don't want it. But the great movies are the ones that put you in the places you don't want to be.
There, but that's not even that big of a deal.
Without any threat of danger.
Yeah, we'll go with this. It's not that big of a deal.
So we want to be in that can, and we want to see how it went down, and then I would be very excited to see
I don't need
what
to bring
they
my
could
other
do
one.
with this. And it's
I'm trying to think because.
And it's about people and it's a great movie because it's about people wanting more. They want to feel. They want the experience. They want to see the Titanic. It's a once in a lifetime thing. It's a father and a son.
Let me just go into my bank real quick. Okay, I'll rotate back to this.
The guy could be like, it's the great explorer who's like, I wonder if my children even miss me. And the kid's like, fucking. Singing, what's my age again at the Blink-182 concert. Like, it's all there.
Oh, it's under here. That's why.
The guy's like, I should have spent more time with my stepson.
He'll be okay.
Who was convicted last year of harassment. Instead of thinking about exploring the ruins of the Titanic, I should have been with my stepson. And then they just cut to the stepson, and he's like, I bet this is growing up. It's like all of the elements of the human tragedy are here. People don't care about you. The great things you do.
I feel like I should use normal.
From the people that are near you. And at the end of the day, this guy is sitting in this can, going down to the Titanic to just try to get,
over to
he
normal.
just wants something out of life that he's not getting. And his fucking stepson is in a Blink-182 concert trying to get whatever thing out of life. That's his version of the fucking whatever, It's his version of the Titanic.
I think that's definitely way cheaper than
standing at a Blink-182
the other
concert,
version.
hoping that one of these
This allows me to
pops
out
out
all
a
those
dick,
other drops that I'm gonna
and,
get.
He doesn't start vomiting or do something stupid, and he's just trying to live his life, and this guy's trying to live his life in a can.
I either out
with
them
this
or
Pakistani businessman and
note
his son,
them, huh?
And it's
I'm not really sure what to do with those.
Spectrum of the human experience in one great,
Yeah, because
sad
it'll be
story
cheaper, huh?
that's
I'll take
captivated
the
everyone
cheapest
because it's got
option,
something
and
for
then
everyone. That's why everyone's talking about it, because
then
it's
switch
got
over to
something
this real
for
quick, and then
everyone.
we're gonna autocast
It has
this,
dreams, it has
and then we're gonna go
nightmares,
ahead and
it has family
empty this
dynamics,
out.
it has wealth, it has money, it has class,
Whoops.
it has adventure.
Change this back. We're gonna
These
bank all
are the
this.
things
We'll
that
grab
people like. It's
these.
a great story. It's so good that if there is any chance
I feel like
that
that
they're
should.
found alive, they must be killed to save the story. It only works if they die. If
Actually,
they are bailed out at the last minute,
retrieve
it is
these
no
real
longer a
quick.
good story. It's actually annoying.
We'll bank
It's
those,
annoying
and
to
then we'll
see
just
them
throw
get
the fire
away with
runes
it.
into here, huh?
They can't get away with it. They must die.
Because
Not
usually
for
if I'm
me,
using mage,
I
I'll
don't
probably
care.
bring both of them,
For
usually.
the story,
So
for the
we'll
film,
go
for the cathartic
to
moment
dag,
we're
and we'll
having right now.
overwrite
This
this,
lets a
and
little pressure.
then,
There's a lot of people,
you know what's
working
weird? Hold
shit
on. This
jobs
needs
who
to be
need to
banked.
see a billionaire go
Banked.
down in a submarine
We
every
need
now and again.
summoning.
They need it.
I feel
If
like
you're
we should
working
bring
at Popeyes in the hood and you're
these.
dealing with all kinds of crazy stuff,
Go back here, dag,
every now
overwrite
and then you
this.
need
There
to
we go.
see a
Return to
white
bank.
billionaire eat it in a fucking submarine. You
This
need
was
to
set
hear
to
about that shit.
borrows.
It's
Let's
good.
go
It
to War's
keeps the
Retreat.
gears grinding of society. Not for me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I hope they're all alive. But they're not. They're not. They're not.
Let's
They
go ahead and
died.
dismiss this.
They exploded trying to see the Titanic. They exploded. The pressure exploded.
I think we'll reattune
them.
Krill
They were
right
just like,
now.
and they went
Tagging
all
off
over the
teams,
ocean.
bro.
And then the sharks go, and the sharks don't care.
Yeah, the sharks don't care, dude.
They don't care, do they? They don't care at all. They don't care
Bro,
that they're eating
this.
30%
What people don't know is that the sub
racial or
didn't get
ethnic group
crushed by the
Do the
pressure.
sharks care
The
about that?
whales actually took
They
it
don't care
out.
about that at all. They're just
They've been attacking a whole bunch of ships
I love and
right
I
now,
love
like
and
lately.
appreciate
It's been like a huge problem.
everyone on all sides of this, because I like when people get
I'm gonna have to
into
get
things.
some. Let's prep some more videos real quick. Hold on.
I do like, this is like an online
'Cause,
digital block party that we all got into for a moment.
We're gonna be in
And
here
there's
for
something
an
beautiful.
hour,
It's
so
got something for everyone, and everybody was kind of in it.
she had more
You
stuff
didn't have to
going here.
know, and people are doing great content. That black chick who did some great shit about this. You find the TikTok where she's like, wait a minute, and you had to be strapped in, and you had to be, motherfucker, like, she did it. I don't know what she was, but I was laughing so hard. This was great content. Applause
I kind of
to her
want
and
to clear all of these
everyone
out of here. Hold on.
who's using this right now to make content. All the creators out there
Let me
that are
check stream
using
real
the
quick.
deaths of
Okay,
these
y'all can still
people.
see that. That's
These
fine.
people that got exploded in a can that we'll never know and don't care about, and stop pretending we care. From our
I mean, I
friends,
understand that like we don't really care, but it's still kind of fucked
everyone
up.
out there who's using their creativity to
But people
really
were just
nail
so
them,
quick to
it's I'm proud to be
and
part
add
of this
this to the
community.
queue.
I'm dead serious, because it is, we can still have fun.
Hmm.
We're still this. We
This is
don't have to give up on
interesting.
the internet. We don't have to give up on this stuff. We can still. It can still be fun. We can still utilize all of this
3 hours
technology to
ago.
do great stuff, and
Yeah,
sink our teeth into
might as
these
well, huh?
stories, and have and learn about
This is an
life.
interesting
And that's what we did
choice on that
with
one.
this story. And I think, I don't care. This will go out Saturday. It's done for me. I don't care what they find. It's done. I've had my moment with it. I've had a beautiful
Love it.
moment with it.
We'll put it in there.
It doesn't matter.
That should
If
be
they're
more than
found alive,
enough
and they'll never be found.
info. I don't
They'll
know if this is
never
the
be
full video or
found,
not of him destroying that
because
$500 million Ponzi
they're
scheme or
gone
not.
forever now, into the
We'll add
depths,
that to the
into
queue. We might do
darkness
2 hours
of
of
the sea, under the sea.
that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my other monitor real quick.
And that's
Hold on.
the end for them. And it's the end for me, even if there are
Set
new
this
developments.
up.
I believe we draw the line there. Take the risks you want to take. every now and then I take a risk. I get
Okay,
an
hold
airplane
on.
to do my job. And that airplane, that's a risk.
I have
but
to
I do
like
it.
reorganize this real quick.
I get in a vehicle
How's that even
and I
make
drive.
sense?
That's a risk. You know what I mean? For many, many years.
All right, we're gonna switch over to this. I'm kind of over the
Ms.
Tim
Robinson,
Dillon
please answer the
stuff.
question I'm asking you.
Absolutely.
Why
then-
do women's sports exist?
I think that there
Okay.
are so many positive
His
benefits
video's
to
gone.
sports.
But
I mean,
why have a
we've talked
separate
about it
category for
today.
women?
This was a
If there's
really
no difference between
weird
women and men, why
hearing.
have women's sports?
We've had a lot of
Ooh,
really
why
weird
indeed?
hearings.
I don't know the difference between men and women, so why would we have men and women's sports? Why would we even have men and women? There is so little difference. But welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. In some Senate hearings, we're going to watch a video, you just saw a clip of Senator Ted Cruz, who doesn't seem to readily go along with the woke ideology that says men get in women's sports and just have at it, get in their locker rooms too. Doesn't seem to go along with it. So in a hearing, they were talking to Riley Gaines. She was the best female collegiate swimmer in the world, finished second to Leah Thomas. And in this hearing, they also wanted to have someone try to
let's
mix
go
up
ahead and summon
reality,
our...
bring in some idiocracy, and
Too
discount
big to summon now. Alright, we'll just
biological
wait till we go
realities
in.
between men and women.
We're gonna do an
And
instance
this is another
encounter.
example
It's
of
definitely
someone
not
who, this
standard.
woman,
I think
Kelly
we do it at
Robinson, I believe
fast
her
at the
name is,
moment.
probably a very intelligent person. Now, here's the beautiful thing. When you see very intelligent people try
have
their
everything
best
set, right?
to not use the basic intelligence that their
I don't think we
brain
need
is
anything else.
more than capable of, it is
Start
hilarious.
this
Now, if
up,
you're
we're gonna run over
seeing someone who is
here,
like
throw the
mentally
pouch
challenged,
on.
they don't have
Because
basic
this is the first
intelligence,
one,
that's
you
not
should,
funny
like,
at all. But seeing someone
surge
who
over
is
here.
very intelligent, completely
And then go
unwilling
ahead
to
and
use their
pull this
intelligence,
guy. Whoops.
that is hilarious.
Should
And
pull
that's
this
where
guy
we're
first.
at. Welcome
I
to
kinda already messed up,
1984. We're doing idiocracy today, ladies and
Because we
gentlemen.
should
That's
be
what the
able to
weather
get this
forecast is
kill
for.
before
Partly
the other
sunny
dude
with
notices.
an intense
I don't
case of
even know if I should use an
idiocracy.
overload for
So let's
this.
take a look at Senator Cruz
I guess
grilling
it'll
this
increase our
woman
kills
with a
per
basic
hour, but-
question that a 3-year-old could answer,
See,
and
we
she is
just now
completely
got
unwilling to
targeted by
do
the
so.
range guy,
It's
so we should
one
be
part
good here.
frustrating, one part
Should be able to knock
hilarious,
that out, and then we'll
and
rotate
2
to
parts
this, kill the
exposing
range
of the
guy.
idiocracy agenda
Wow,
that is
first
this
fucking
woke
drop in
ideology.
Berserker ring.
Let's take a look.
5.3
Ms.
mil,
Robinson, do you
boys.
agree with Ms. Gaines that
Nice
there's a
and
difference
easy.
between women and men?
If the question is,
Whatever she's gonna say, that
Unfortunately,
wasn't the question. Like,
we got
if
aggro
the
from
question,
the range
no, the
dude.
question was literally the question that was just
Yo,
asked.
that's so
The answer is
huge.
yes.
about
Should we pay
trans
a
women,
piece?
I'm just asking, is there a
Should we
difference
keep
between women and
those?
men?
I don't know
like,
if we
what I
should
can
even
say here is
bother
that the
with that.
NCAA has rules.
Trying so hard to not access her intelligence. Not that it takes much intelligence to answer this question, but she is just fighting it. It's just like a dry
$2K a
egg,
pop.
and
It does
fighting
sound
the
kinda
urge
nice.
to
Let's see, how
do
much
their
is Magic
thing.
Notebook?
It's just like, dude, I
These
can't.
are
I'm
only
like,
like
my
400
intelligence is right there, but I
GP
have to
apiece.
fight it.
Rules in place. They've had rules in place for the last
So-
decade, and when this competition
Okay, I'm
happened,
going to try
the
again.
rules were clear.
Do you
Drag
believe
them and
there's a
note
difference
them.
between
That's
women and men?
4K right
It's a
there.
yes/no question.
That
Do you believe there's...
What do you mean by yes and no
2.5K
question,
for
Ted? Do you
battle.
mean I should give a lot of context
Just a greedy
unrelated to this
bastard.
question?
Okay,
Well, I
rotate
think
back
that
into
we're
our
talking about this
mage.
case with the NCAA.
No, I'm asking a question.
Should be roughly
we're talking
right
about
here
this
is where we
case.
stand. I wish I could mark
Asking the
tiles
question.
like
Here's
you
where
do
the
in
frustration
old
comes
school,
in.
but
Do you believe there's
It
a
is what
difference
it
between
is.
women and men? Most people could answer this very
so
simply.
5.3 mil
I'm
first
curious
drop
if you're
is
willing to do
pretty
so.
good.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just putting it into the context
I don't
of
know
the
how our
situation
luck's
that
gonna
we're
hold up
having.
though. Hopefully
I
we
think
can
that
get
there
a
are
couple more rings
definitions
this
related
trip
to
would
sex.
be
Is
but
that
I
a
also
yes?
think
So I'm
that the-
trying to get a yes or no. I'm not trying to get a speech.
tons of sharks.
Is there a
interesting.
difference between women and men?
I think that there are definitions
Won't
for
really need it. We're
biological.
gonna go ahead and
It
use
is
our
incredible. She
ancient
has
element
quite the
ritual
ability
shard
to have an
regen some of our
inability to
prayer while
answer
we're
a
doing
yes and no
this.
question that she definitely knows the answer to. I'm impressed.
Biological sex.
Okay, so you're
which
not
is
answering
different
that.
than
Let me
gender.
ask you this question then. Why do women's sports exist? If you can't define a difference between women and men, why not abolish
I'd
women's
have
sports
killed it
and
too
just tell
fast.
little girls to swim with little boys and see who wins?
Maybe
3K
we just
out.
abolish women. Maybe we just abolish men. Then there's literally no difference because there's nobody.
Oh, I'm simply saying that that sex
Interesting.
is
My
different
question,
than gender.
why
I
do-
believe
why
that
do
women's
women's
sports
sports
have a great
exist?
value. I mean, Senator, I'll tell you right
Ms.
now.
Robinson, please answer the question I'm asking you.
Absolutely.
Why do women's sports exist?
You have to wonder what's it like inside of Ted Cruz's head, or any one of these senators who are like on the side of common sense.
Nice.
They
Some
know
super
these people
ranging.
that are
That's
coming
huge.
in to testify in front of them. They know that they are completely unwilling to use common sense. They're completely unwilling to convey accurate information that they know
I guess
is
I really
true.
didn't need
So
to
how
do
do they
overloads.
prepare?
Huh?
Like I
probably should've
imagine
taken
like
those
Ted
off the
Cruz and
list.
these other
Kinda
common
wanna
sense
save them
senators, they're
for
backstage being like, dude,
necromancy
okay,
when it
here's the
drops.
questions we need to ask, and we know we're not going to get an answer. So hopefully they just have a beer and laugh about what they
forgot
think
to
is going to
switch.
happen. But I just wouldn't bet in their right mind they have any degree of realistic expectation that these people are going to show up, testify, and give real answers. And therefore, when they're here on the panel, Ted Cruz isn't surprised. Like, dude, I can't believe she's actually not answering this question. Like, no. They have to know what's coming. And they're either probably highly frustrated
I
by
think
it
it's
or
crazy
highly
that a lot
amused
of
by it.
a lot of these
Hopefully
people go
amused.
on there
I
and
think
they
that
don't
there's
have.
so many positive benefits to sports.
They like
I
the
mean,
why have a
answers that
separate
they get.
category for
They
women?
don't have an answer
If
for them.
there's no difference
Like,
between
you
women
know
and
you're
men,
going
why
in
to
front
have
of
women's
Congress
sports?
like
Why have women's sports?
justify this
If
stuff.
what you mean by that is, are dogs dangerous and should people not have dogs, and cats are also a potential menace to society, if that's what you mean by the question, Senator Cruz, no, like he literally
Also
means
get
what
Dagenhal
he
bones
just
on
said.
top of it,
Like
which is
he
pretty
said the
nice.
question that he was trying to ask.
I'm
That's
saying that
not
there's a
bad at
difference
all.
between sex and gender, and that the NCAA has rules in place, which they have for the last.
By the way, you
Nice,
gotta
some
love
more dag bones.
the quality pin
It's
on
not bad.
her. Just like, in case you didn't know what she stood for, there it is. We got the virtue signal.
Kind of
pin.
weird
Believe
that
it,
my
just- I
that
don't know
they're
what
not
that
getting picked up.
symbol
I guess
actually
the
is.
ones
Equal
that like
symbol.
drop
I assume
from
it
them are getting
probably
picked up,
doesn't
but
mean equality. It probably means
not the
equity.
other
Hashtag
ones.
communism.
That actually makes sense.
Decades.
Chairman, I would like to enter into
Related
the
to-
record
This is like a
an
noted
article
drop
from
from them.
Duke Law called "Comparing Athletic Performances for the Best
Okay,
Elite
some
Women to
more.
Boys and Men."
I wonder what that article found. If
Yeah, it's
men
almost
are
like
better
100K a
at sports
kill.
than women,
You get
they
the
have
Dagenhal
physical
bone drop. That's
advantages,
interesting.
or maybe they didn't find a difference
It's really
between
good.
men and women's sports performance.
kill
Maybe
them
they
so
didn't find
fast.
any difference between men and women in general. Maybe they just couldn't find men and women
pretty chill.
anywhere. Like nobody's in the study because we couldn't find men or women
I
because
guess I
we
didn't
don't
need to
know
bring
who is who.
Excalibur,
So
but
this study literally says nothing, kind of like this lady testifying. Well, there
I
you
didn't
have
need to
it,
bring
my
these.
friends. The latest edition of
So next
intelligent
trip, if
people
we
completely
do
unwilling to
another
use your
hour of
intelligence
it,
because
we won't bring
that's what
overloads. We
ideology
really don't need
requires.
them.
If your ideology requires
needed
objective
the
truth to be
super
abolished,
restores, to
then
be
it
honest.
eventually means you can't use your intelligence at the same time as perpetuating the ideology because the two don't go hand in hand. And nonetheless, as much as DC is
3.5
very
for
swamp-like,
the
and
subjugation garb.
I don't think necessarily
Interesting.
contains the leadership that we
guess people are
need. I
going
think
into
that
another
actually
buying
comes out
frenzy
at an
probably,
individual
'cause the
level.
release
I very
date
much
got
appreciate
moved to August
politicians like
7th.
Ted Cruz, Senator
fire.
Hawley, Rand Paul, these very common sense people who stand for truth and they don't bow down and cater to some woke ideology, even though I'm sure they have a lot of pressure to do so. So I love seeing these people just stand for truth, common sense, and call out people who are behaving like absolute idiots so we
Does that
can
work
expose
something?
their idiocracy ideology. And with that said, appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing you on our next video. But before you go, I want to tell you about bond charges of red light therapy. I'll tell you, I think there's two things the world needs more of to be a better place. More redheads and more red light. I don't know about you, but I'm someone who doesn't like to have obstacles in my way of living life the way I want. Whether it's sore muscles,
we don't really need
stress, or
this.
poor sleep.
Let's go on to the next one.
Is age a legitimate issue?
It is a legitimate issue, sure it is. And I think people are going to judge it. If I were to run, I think they're going to judge me on my vitality. Can I still run up the steps of Air Force 2? Am I still in good shape? Do I have all my faculties? Am I energetic? I think it's
That one was
totally
rough when
legitimate
he was
people ask
giving
those
that
questions.
Do not laugh at that, you guys. Don't. Happy Thursday. Welcome to
I can't
Education,
help it.
and
He says not
welcome
to laugh
another
at it.
episode of Try Not
It's
to
even
Laugh.
more funny.
Shout out to the video maker Maze for compiling that beautiful
That's so rough,
chart for
dude.
Dear Leader. Amazing what's happening in the world today in 2023. You can't make it up. Here on Thursdays, there's generally no punishments, but today there is. If you laugh today, you lose, and you have to go check out the morning show if you have not yet. Every morning, Monday through Friday, Dave and I stream at 7 a.m. Central Time, so go check that out on Rumble, on YouTube, or on any of your podcasting apps. But first, you have to play today's game, so if you accept the terms of today's game, you laugh, you check out the morning show. Head down and like this video, and if you are new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now, on to today's game. Try not to laugh. Go. Take the guy missing.
I like these
Z
education videos.
Hey, don't miss this one right. There's trouble over there.
That's pretty far right. Jeez, look at the house.
Poor house.
Okay, so you know what?
How does it even happen?
Does anyone live on a golf course here? Does your house look like this?
Probably.
I mean, here's the part that I don't get. You live on the golf course, that's fine. You have a nice view all the time, nice freshly cut grass all the time. That's got to be nice. But you can't be mad when golf balls hit your house. And some people get mad. That's the part. It's like, you live on a golf course. What do you think's gonna happen? One of you went to
I feel like you should net your house, bro.
Oh my god, I almost died. I almost died. That was so scary. Thank you.
So true.
Dude,
It's alright, it's alright.
you never,
It's actually
ever,
true.
ever
Fact check, true.
go to Costco
Never on a Sunday.
Unless you go like towards closing time. But that's the thing about Costco, and I might be wrong. Maybe they updated their hours. They open usually at like 11, close at 7 or 8, right? I mean, there's like a small window, which I don't
See, 46K, dude, if I
Why are
out
they not open at
this.
6
I
a.m.
didn't
to
bring
10
nature
p.m.?
in,
They're like the
so.
most popular store ever.
That 46K
Right? I mean,
is sounding
if you go on
pretty
Sunday, you
fire.
are asking for a headache. Long lines, parking lot mess, lots of people. Why would you do that to yourself? Every company meeting in 2023.
AI, generative AI, generative AI, generative AI,
everything, bro.
AI. It uses AI to.
Yeah, it's like a trendy thing now. It's like the .com bubble 2.0, but on steroids.
Everybody
You
is.
mention
Everybody
AI,
is.
you're a fertilizer company. You mention AI in your earnings report, stock goes like that, and it doesn't stop. It's the like I said, .com bubble 2.0. I might be wrong. I don't know. But if you own a company, you want your stock price to go up, just say AI 1,000 times.
Hopefully
having
we
Monday
can
off is infinitely times better than having Friday off.
get this
Both
going.
get you a 3-day weekend, but when you have Friday off, by the time you hit the 3-day weekend, you've already exhausted the 4-day work week. But when you have Monday off, yeah, it sucks to go back to work, but then you finish Monday, which is really Tuesday, and then you're like, oh my god, it's already Wednesday, which is basically Thursday, which is basically the weekend. We should go to a 4-day work week. I would work
Makes
an
sense.
extra 2 hours a day just to have 3-day weekends all the time. I'm doing that anyway. What am I saying?
Whatever, man. Whatever you want, whatever your employer gets, it's whatever. Here at Zeb Media, it's 7 days a week, 24/7, no days off. Everyone knows that. Okay, so if you want to work for me, you're working 24/7. 410s is okay too. Oh yes, flashback to one of the greatest clips of all time.
I use she, her pronouns, and I am
Smacks the hell out of her.
Oh, I think we've had this clip on here like 10 times now, but it is just so funny every time. Even the cats, the kitties, they're sick of it. Sick of this BS. Me and my friend creating a whirlpool. Oh, hell yeah. Everyone did this, didn't they?
Everybody, dude. Everybody.
Yeah, and then you fight against it. See how powerful.
Everybody I know that ever went into a
I think
freaking
that's really funny,
above ground
but I
pool.
think most of us, at least the 90s kids.
Oh yeah,
they still
it's
do it
so
now,
much
right?
fun.
We all did this. You've just put your kids
Those are the good old
in
days.
daycare.
This is for all the mums who have just put their kids in daycare. You know, if you're feeling really guilty.
Hopefully
or
these
you're
drops
missing
stay long
them,
enough.
Like, take this from one mum to another. You don't need to worry because they're going to be at home with you next week anyway, sick.
So true.
That's so true.
At least in the wintertime.
Yep.
You better have a lot
Every
of
freaking time, bro.
saved up, or I don't know, because your kid will be home.
Shit, I got super ranging and
every other
fucking
so,
damn.
She's right.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this work.
Tomato quesadillas? Hell yeah, that shit sound good. Hey man, that's up. That ain't what that means. LGBTQ. No mames. It stands for let's get beer, tacos, and quesadillas.
I like quesadillas. Quesadillas are good. Beers and tacos, pretty good. So let's get. What did he say?
I guess I'm gonna have to leave those on the ground.
Tacos and quesadillas.
There we go. There we go. That's the new acronym for let's get beer, tacos, and quesadillas.
You ain't never gotta worry about me cheating, babe.
I feel like I should bank
But you
and
do have to
grab
worry about if your
Nature's.
food gonna be in the refrigerator when you get home or not.
It's true. Don't leave something you don't want eaten in the fridge, because leftovers are fair game. Come on.
So
label it or don't eat it
how
all.
much are
Yes,
these worth?
Leftovers are fair game. Everyone knows that.
Just made this sandwich, but I over toasted the bread. Now I have to eat this hard ass piece of bread. So this is just a reminder that it doesn't get better and life is a nightmare.
That's depressing, but it doesn't get better.
That's
Life
funny.
is better. Nothing matters. That's what. Yeah, this the toast. Oh, that's so depressing. I hope you're joking. It gets really good. Because you have kids, it's a lot of work, but rewarding. Look at that pothole, dude.
I don't know if the price stays solid, but you know what? I'm gonna do this, guys. I'm gonna do one more kill real quick.
I mean, aren't the
and then we're
taxes
gonna
pretty high in
bank.
Michigan too?
And grab
Tax
nature
money, hard at
runes
work.
instead.
I love it. Do you guys remember
We'll
when
drop like
Domino's was
water or
filling
the earth
potholes 'cause the
runes,
government couldn't do
whichever
their
one.
job? Filling a frickin' pothole. And probably they're not even liable for that.
I guess we could stay a little bit longer until this runs out.
Girl, and you go to support him.
He said it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is.
That is a legendary Biden line.
He said it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is.
Who he is.
That's why it is what it is.
What does that mean? If I was ever in
Nobody
one of those
knows what that
slap
means, bro.
competitions,
Yeah, I quit. I quit.
yeah, you can quit.
Hey, back up.
Oh, come on. Yeah, no, you quit. I still can't believe this.
Such a terrible idea.
Like, this is a real competition. Go ahead, do it.
Honestly, though,
You're willingly
like,
participating, that's fine. I don't care.
is it that much
But
different than like
Is it?
fighting? I guess.
Not really. It's the same thing every time you see it once. You see
Yeah,
one
that's
good
true.
slap. What else is there? I just
I don't know.
I still don't.
That's
get
a
it.
tough one.
Will you ever buy an electric car?
Highly doubtful. I think it's funny when people grandstand of like, look, I got an electric car, but then they plug it into their house or somewhere else, which is on the grid, so it runs on coal.
Yeah.
You're literally not doing the green energy thing.
Yeah,
Unless you
you're
got a
not
bunch of
doing the
solar
green energy
panels at
thing,
your
bro.
house. You're drawing from the grid. It's just you're burning the fuel somewhere else.
Yeah, you don't
charge
have
your
to see it.
battery,
It's
which
kind
are
of like how
mined with crimes against
people
humanity
are
in the
like have the
Congo.
separate.
You're not doing a good thing. So I dumped all my Tesla
People have the
stock.
separation
No,
of
not
like where
good.
their food comes from now, right? Like,
Is he wrong? Where does the electricity come from? If
That's
it comes
true.
from the grid and not the solar panels in your house, you can't really be smug about it. You can still huff your own farts and be an a-hole. But, point of view, the hometown motivational speaker on Snap.
They don't want it this bad. They don't want it as bad as I do. Nobody want to put in them long hours, man. Sun going down. Where y'all at? Y'all watching y'all little show? I'm out here working. I'm outside. You gotta change your mental before you can change your lifestyle. That's real. There was a point in my life where I was over here doing this, that, and the third. What I shouldn't have been doing. I had to jump over here to get in the right headspace, man. This shit get crazy once you
Dude,
figure
that
it out.
laugh, bro.
Man, once you figure it out, it's different. It's different.
You know, everyone has the over-dramatic
I think we can do this
person
last
on
one
their,
real
their
quick.
Facebook or their social media
Could be wrong though.
posting about their, you know, their life problems being entertainment for everyone else. And then everyone has this
Oh,
guy.
that was the
guy
longest
that's
spawn ever.
overly inspirational when there really isn't a ton to back up what, you know, the achievement aspect of his motivation.
So we'll do this, and then we're
He
gonna go
thinks he
ahead and
made it.
bank real quick, and we're gonna reset and grab some alks and
The
whatnot.
fact that no one calls anyone out for squatting high. I've never seen a whole gym of people that cut their squats high. Back in my day,
There we go.
we called each other out on it, man. If you're not gonna get parallel, at least don't even squat.
I love this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and the accent.
That's funny.
You're from Minnesota. I'm just gonna guess that, but he's right.
Okay, we're gonna
If
bank
you're at the
this.
gym, I don't
bank
care if it's a
this,
stranger. I
this,
don't care
this.
if they're twice the size of you. If they are not
We're
getting
gonna go ahead
parallel, they're not getting
and
deep enough in their squats, call them out. Be a good
might as well
friend.
just bank that real
That's
quick.
what good
grab
people do.
this.
Don't let them sit there on the frickin' Smith machine and go to,
59.
you know,
What
what,
the fuck?
45
Wait a minute.
degrees, think they're squatting a bunch. That's
The
not
fuck?
okay. You're not helping them by letting them do that. You're enabling. All right, I love this guy.
Oh, they're probably all in my.
25% off. Then how much do you have to pay?
Should I? I feel like I should probably go buy a couple.
Yes. You know who fought in the Revolutionary War?
Bank the. Okay, hold on.
Against ourselves.
Grab this.
If you make
and
$10,000 a
then
month and you work an entire year, then how much
I'm
money
gonna
do you
bank
make?
these, and we're gonna do it like this instead. Bank.
A lot. Give me a number.
I don't even know if we really need this many.
Yes.
We might as well take
who
this
fought in the
many.
Mexican-American War?
I really don't know. Do we even need that many
If you had to
for a
guess.
full hour?
Who?
Spain.
Against?
Mexico.
You don't need the augmented
Yes.
Excalibur either.
It's been a while since we
So
had
let's
one of
just
these.
go
Justin
here.
on the best.
Go ahead and overwrite this.
I think the best is that the
I think this
best
is a better
worst account
setup
on,
for what we're
on,
doing.
TikTok
I think.
highlighting
Make sure,
the
just double check.
absolute
We do have that.
failure
I
of
guess
our public schools. It's
go buy a
sad.
couple.
You know, you hate to see it, but it's there. Guess who is the cheerleader and who is not?
Couple gnats.
Okay, she looks like a cheerleader. Okay, she can. All right, looks like she can do the moves. Come on, man.
Oh, these
you
went
know,
back
it's hard
up.
to tell. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. How my husband takes out the trash. Get out of here. What? That is incredible. That, you know what?
And then it's Elizabeth.
I want to believe this is real. I do. When you have kids, moms, they have superpowers that get unlocked. Dads also have superpowers that get unlocked. There is a dad sense. It is. The dad reflexes, it's weird. It happens.
All right, let's get back.
This, you know what? I think this is fake. I'm gonna, maybe not. If it is, if it's real, I apologize, but I think it's fake. That's just too good. That is too skillful.
We made paper airplanes to fly off our balcony, and this happened.
Accidentally murdered someone.
Oh my god. Wait, where'd it go?
It's over here.
Dude, oh my god.
Where is that?
Yours is soaring.
Where is it?
On the fucking
I don't know, dude. There it is.
Dude, oh my god.
Oh wow, dude! Wow. Oh! Oh, there's a guy sitting there.
Oh
There's
shit,
a guy
dude!
sitting
A
there.
dragon hatchet.
That's amazing. Dude, that's fate. You need to go meet these people. Did you leave a phone number?
Dude, they're in phone.
That's so funny.
What did you put on there?
We just started this day off so great.
We just started this day off so great. This, you know, when you do these paper planes, you gotta put some sort of message in a bottle type deal.
Yeah, that would have been lit.
That's incredible. Great job. You
I didn't need to bring
engineer.
two, but we
Wow.
did. So we should have enough room now. Oh, you know what? I messed up. Hold on. Let's rotate these two.
That's
I didn't even get the
genius.
pants on.
Oh, that's genius. Oh yeah. All right. You're gonna have to hop around
And Arrowheads
from place
again,
to
huh?
place because you know they might recognize you. You know, you can't go to the same movie theater, being 9 months pregnant every single month. So you
That
gotta
would be
be a
funny,
little
though.
smart about it. But I love this. This is genius.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not
not
gonna
bad.
ever think to look in there.
Yeah, like how are you gonna be like, hey, can you lift up your shirt? And like,
You're
you
bringing
know,
a lot
like,
in there. Do
I don't know.
whatever you want to do, you can do that. So, but basically, generally, you use the pockets in the wintertime in Minnesota. It's easy. You
Oh,
can
I didn't even
stuff
have it
stuff in your,
equipped.
your winter coats. Put it under your hats. That guy's wearing a hat. You can do a hat. But whatever you got to do to get the free food in the theater, do it. Seeing other people travel.
Tuesday at 11 a.m. Does nobody else work? How is everybody affording all these trips? How much PTO do these people have? I'm trying to figure out what everybody does for a living. I want that too. Who's watching their dogs? Aren't they just in Bora Bora? Don't these people have families? Don't these people have homes? They might even live there now. That's what I want to be doing. I know we just got back from Mexico, but how is everybody else traveling? Gosh, how is everybody in Italy right now? Oh, must be nice.
It's funny because I think we all have these conversations. You're like, doesn't
Yeah,
that
I
person
think
make
everybody
minimum
does it.
wage? Like, how are they paying for all this? Maxing out credit
It's
cards.
called
That's how a lot of
debt,
people pay
yeah.
for stuff. Do you. Whatever you want to do. You want to max out the credit cards? I don't care. That's your decision. It's a bad one. Just know. But that's how a lot of people do this.
I hit a bad shot. Can I get a mulligan?
A mulligan?
Hell yeah,
Amy get
mulligan,
a
bro.
mulligan when an 18-wheeler veered off into her lane and smashed her into a pancake? I'll give you a hint. No, she didn't.
Wow.
I wish she could get a mulligan. I wish she could
Yeah.
be like, oh, I'm going to try this again. Only this time, I'm going to leave the house 5 minutes later.
That went from 0 to
So
100
no,
real
you
quick.
can't get a mulligan. Clear the tee box.
Jeez. Dark.
Someone
That
get
was
that
dark.
man a beer, Jesus.
No mulligans. No
Yeah,
mulligans.
no mulligans,
Zero.
apparently. No mulligans
Not
when
even
playing
a
with that
breakfast
guy.
ball, okay? My cat at
Jesus.
4:53 a.m. wanting food.
Up, wake up, snap out of it, snap out of it. But you have been under
Dude,
cult
he's like
brainwashing.
so
Come out of
good
it.
for memeing. He's so good for memeing, dude.
Yeah,
Him and,
your cat, if you have cats,
what's the
I don't
legend?
know. You gotta,
The legend that goes in all the
I
memes,
don't know.
dude. Oh,
You shut the
what
door
is
on
his
them and they just scratch the
name?
door.
The
Maybe
actor,
have an automatic feeder
fucking
somehow, because they'll do this to you. They'll wake you up.
man.
Same with
Yeah,
dogs.
but I know it's not Bruce Willis, but I'm trying to think.
We
salute you.
It's not funny, man.
It's fucked up.
I mean, it is. It's funny. It's funny. I admit it's funny. Yeah.
Cannot think of his name
by the
right
time
now.
this video comes out, I imagine this will have happened again. It seems to be like every month, every 2 months.
He seems to
generally now,
fall quite often.
And this is the stuff
Someone
that's
needs to
only
get that
on
man
public
pads, dude.
TV, stuff that gets captured on camera. Who knows what
I feel
happens
like they
private.
should, like,
when you tell your son to slide and he actually slides.
put pads in his suit or something, man, to like help him out, yo, dude. And
nice
Secret
man.
Service be like standing right there. It's like, dude, like catch him. Like, what are you doing? That should be your job. Like, I think a kid won that
He's
one.
taking literally. You told him to slide, he slid. That is amazing. Kid's got a big future ahead of him. Things I wish I knew before.
I was today years old when I realized how this is supposed to work.
That can't be right. No, but what happens when you have a brand new roll, though? It's not gonna fit in there. Nah, come on. I'm gonna try this out on a brand new roll. There's not enough space between that bar and the new roll. It's not how it works. Just stop. It's been there this whole time? No. When it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Oh no. How did you get that far into the freaking parking ramp?
I have no idea. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Oh,
That he
looks
took it
expensive.
that far.
That looks expensive.
Alright, we're gonna have to...
Just take the... No. No. Oh, did he get the sprinkler? Oh. Oh, no.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Bro, his boat and got the... Oh,
How did you get
man.
in there?
That's
And what are you
impressive.
gonna? You're backing up. What are you doing? Oh no, 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 no. Oh, dude, look at this. Free car wash, at least. That's all. I mean, it ain't gonna be free.
I feel like
I'm
I'm
sure you're gonna be in pretty big trouble. You're gonna be liable for all this.
we didn't really lose any health off of that, to be honest. Really not that bad.
Oof, oof. Lesson.
Anything else? We got one of these, huh?
Don't forget that you're towing something. And don't
You
ever
got
tow
enough
anything
time.
through a
Yeah.
frickin' parking garage. What are you thinking? How'd you make the turn to get in there? That's what I want to know. Daddy, are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know how he got it in there. It's interesting. She gonna hit? Ooh.
Owie. He's good.
He's good.
Oh, he's leaving.
He's gonna
What are you
live.
doing? Are you good, man?
Just left his kid there.
That's exactly where I want to hit it, son. Right up the middle every time. You want to hit the back
every
of that
time.
square on the L screen every time. Nice hit. That'll be okay. Taylor Swift.
I mean, he was
concerts
standing kind of
scares.
like in the one spot where you probably shouldn't stand.
Where is that? That's the place I never want to go watch.
Like, that's the whole
anything.
reason there's netting around that thing,
What
right?
in the hell? Is that supposed to happen?
I feel like he just wasn't doing that right.
You know, there's lots of places over in Europe, like the soccer stadiums collapsing and stuff. I don't know if that's supposed to do that. It's kind of scary. Play it as it lies. You got... Okay. All right. No. Your friend's being a jerk. Pick it up club length. That's just, you know, and shame on the groundskeeper. Really? You're gonna turn the sprinklers on in the middle of the day? On a perfectly sunny day? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that is a little...
Let's see here.
A little messed up. Did him dirty on that one.
Miss. What the hell is that? A bouncy ball? Yeah. Oh, okay. Absolute precision. Get out of here. Is there anything besides a hole in one of this? He's gonna get it eventually. Here it goes. Here it goes. Oh, yeah, really? Be proud.
What the
Yeah.
hell is that?
What the hell is this golf course? This is ridiculous. When you have completely outgrown your house, but you have a 2% interest rate. I believe you're going to have to talk to an expert here, but I think you might have options. Pretty sure you can still utilize that 2% loan somehow. Okay? This, though, is how a lot of us are currently situated. Why would you get rid of a 2% loan for a 7% loan? That doesn't make any sense. You're going to like triple your payment. I would have been laughing.
Do your thing. Get up and do it. Get up and do it. Do your thing. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. There it is. Do it. Straight down. Do your thing. Sit down. Just do your dance. Sit down. Matter of fact, do your dance in the chair. Make the chair rock. Make the chair rock.
That's why they all have masks on, dude. You can't do that.
Dude. Oh. I'm flashing back. What is this? Anyways, what brand? Is this a like, correctional facility or is this like the
Yeah, I
Coast
couldn't
Guard?
tell either. That's kind of what it looked
What is
like,
this?
dude.
What branch is this? I honestly don't know. What is this? Maybe it's a police academy? Regardless, I'm having flashbacks to the basic training. The good old days.
It's funny.
I could tell you stories for days. I'm not even kidding you. I saw something like this happen. It's gold. What they make.
Come on, guys. We got
do, just
one
hilarious.
ring so far. We need some more
Keep
here.
walking, B word. He's mine. Jeez.
Mine doesn't need a sign.
That one is like the one John has. That only has
For stupid ass outfits like this.
Nice.
Hey. He likes to be a peacock. He likes to wear obnoxious things. Let him be him. Okay? Be proud.
Yeah, dude.
Parenting 20 years ago.
Excuse me. How long have you been playing video games?
Like 2 hours?
2 hours? Okay, shut that off right now. That is way too long. You are going to rot your brain.
Dad, I'm bored.
Okay, so I want you to shove this in your face as close as you can for as long as you want because I cannot handle when you say or do things.
So true.
Kind of sad, but kind of true. You see it quite often. I get it. I do. I understand. Sometimes they're crazy. They're a little insane people sometimes. And
ask and ye shall
let 'em watch Frozen
receive.
for a half hour,
17
whatever.
mil. Not
Every
bad, not bad.
politician ever Open your eyes.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So we got a Berserk and a Seer
People
so
that run my
far.
campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things.
Hell yeah.
A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family.
Yeah, that's...
Listening to
so
my
good.
constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election.
Hell yeah.
I'd do anything to stay in office.
I
My
might
name's
actually
Gil
vote for
Fulbright.
that guy, because
Hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright, or
at least I
Phil
know what I'm
Fulbright,
getting.
or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now,
Hell
in order
yeah.
to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear.
Wow.
Do you want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? Or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? I'm Philip Amalfi, and I approve this message.
Fantastic.
That is
so
the best
good.
political campaign ad of all time.
Yep.
And it applies to both parties. There's like an absolutely select few handful of politicians ever that have ever spoken against these things, and generally they don't win. This is what happens.
Still got 25
'cause you
minutes on
need
the
the money
incense.
to
Maybe we can
campaign.
get all
Yes,
3
we
rings. Maybe
know
we get a
this. We know
trifecta
what
here.
both parties are
Just need an
corrupt on the
archer
whole.
rings drop.
This is
Archer
just
ring
like
drop.
the end of the Roman Empire, right? The corruption at the end of it was their downfall. Part of it, part of the reason.
The only problem is when you go like an
Here soon, 'cause
hour
this is
dry,
exactly
it kind of
spot on. This is
sucks.
how politics in America works, sadly.
And it does
How'd you
happen
do
sometimes.
in today's video? Did you laugh at all? If you did, you lose. And you have to go check out the morning show. Come
I feel like
join
we're
us
killing
every morning,
quite a
7
few,
a.m.
though.
Central Time for about 45 minutes where we talk about everything going on in the world. You
I
can
do
watch on
my
Rumble
Gano
or
task
YouTube,
because I only have
and you can
96
listen on
Gano.
any podcasting app.
And then we might
Just go
use
download today.
our
That's what you have to
our
do if you
dag
laughed at all today.
mask
So let me know how you
to
did down in the comments. While you're down there,
just
please
force
like
this
video.
task
Please
for a
help us
better
get
drop
recommended to
rate.
others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Education.
For the children.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a show for y'all. Got a damn good show. All right, so the CEO of Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, y'all just should just stop
This
talking
was
about
so
it. Maybe
sad.
people forget. Yeah, y'all should do.
I wish I would go
what's that one
straight
company?
into
Firestone. Remember they was
this
on
or
40
whatever.
they was just blowing up, killing people. Stop talking about it. People forget. Yeah, really, they will. Well, I don't know if they're gonna forget about that trans on that tan. I think y'all pretty much done. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, he went on. You gotta be stupid. Yeah. Just saying, Bud Light. I think of like rural customers. You know, country. I think good old Southern, good old Americans. No, I think of white people. White Southern conservative rebel flag waving. That's what I think of because I grew up in the South and that's all I saw was rebel flag
damn.
and Bud Light. Right?
He's not wrong,
That
okay?
and Slit
I ain't
Smoke-
saying he's right,
Slit-
but
when I
he's
think
not
of
wrong.
Slit Smoke liquor, I think of nigga, right? And then when I think of Pat's Blue Ribbon beer,
damn.
same image. You know, same customer. Hey, Colt 45, nigga, right? Slits, Negro. Paps, Bud Light, white redneck. Daddy liked Paps. Daddy, you a damn lie. Daddy drunk that Colt 45. No, Daddy drunk a lot of Pabst Blue Ribbon. You remember them damn red, white, and blue cans at the house? Oh, he'll finish the can like, ugh. He'll smash it. Just throw it in the corner.
God damn.
And after he finished drinking,
Getting
he
a little
opened a
too
can
real
of
here.
pork and beans. Then he'd be walking to the bathroom. You could hear him kicking the cans all over the place. Yeah, Daddy was a black redneck. But anyway, so the Anheuser-Busch CEO went on, what is that, ABC? I think it's ABC. CBS? Good Morning America. One of them. GMA. He looks liberal as hell, don't he? He looks kind of liberal. Yeah, let's start the interview. He looks lib.
Anheuser-Busch, U.S. CEO, that's Brendan Whitworth. We're happy
These are the
to
beers
say.
you don't buy.
Joins
Pause
us at the
it.
table
Pause it right
live
there.
in-
Yeah, don't buy these beers. Go back. That dude. He looks gay, too. Hey, go. He looks liberal, right? No, he looks liberal gay to me. Hey, go
I
back.
kind of wish we had a
Everybody.
hybrid bonus for the
Hey, thanks,
prayers.
GMA. You see these
I don't know
beers?
what is
Don't
causing
buy
me to
it.
take so much damage, but
This
I'm
all
taking actually quite a bit of
Anheuser-Busch,
damage right
all
now.
that's tranny piss. Do not buy it.
Throw this
Thank
on the
you,
ground real
GMA,
quick.
for showing this. These are the beers you do not buy. I ain't buying none of that.
We'll just grab that real quick.
Goose Island. Look at that tranny piss foaming up. All right, let's go, man.
Brendan Whitworth, we're happy
I
to
just
say,
can't believe how
joins us at the
cheap
table live and in
superstores
color
are.
for
It's
an
kind of
exclusive
crazy.
interview. Number one,
Don't
we're
make
glad to have you here. Many
Thank you.
people in your position, Mr.
Why am I
Whitworth,
taking
would
so
be
much
running for the
damage?
hills at this
What's
point.
going on?
Because since April,
Sounds
you all
liberal.
have faced a lot of incoming. How and why did it go so off the rails? Because that certainly wasn't your intention when you did one can to one person.
That's
It's been a challenging few weeks, and I think the conversation surrounding Bud Light has moved away from beer, and the conversation has become divisive.
You're taking a
And
lot of
Bud Light
damage for no
really
reason.
doesn't
Can't
belong
really
there. Bud
figure it
Light
out.
should be all about bringing
This is
people
still
together.
active. This is
And
still
there's been
active.
impact on the business, and I think that's publicly covered on Bud Light specifically.
Yeah, so what was your intention? Take us through the
Huge,
what was your
huge
intention?
hit.
What were you all trying to do here? And you've
They
done
lost
this
so
before,
much
these
fucking money,
promotional
dude.
campaigns.
Yeah, it was, just to be clear, it was a gift, and it was one can.
Pause it.
But
Hey,
for
come on now. Come on.
you
A gift? You just you took one can and put it in a box and mailed it to that transgender? One can. No money was paid. She had no. If you're going to send your products, you're going to send them a 12-pack at least. You sent one can? That's a lie. And it wasn't a gift. This was an ad. This was a promotion. Yeah. Well, one can. Yeah. What I find so hard to believe is you're like promoting your brand with a influencer whose primary audience is below the drinking age. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And not
also.
only
What's up with that?
The influencer is a radical person who pushed gender ideology on
It was like the
kids.
whole reason they kind of had to
Pushes the idea
remove
that
like the commercials
men can
from
be women.
like being on TV and stuff, or like
A person who minimizes what a woman is. That's how I know you're liberal. If you was conservative, you'd have never sent this bill out. If you was
Something like that.
conservative, you would
I
have
forgot
never
what they
went
did.
political. You
I mean,
just
I know they
stick
still
to
have
your
like
brand
alcohol
about making money and
commercials,
putting
but
out beer and putting out things Exactly. that customers like. No, you wanted to influence somebody with
I
your
remember them
politics.
having to get rid of
That's
that
where
or
you went wrong
something
at.
for a
If you
while.
was
I know
really,
they did it with
like conservative,
cigarettes.
your beard would be like all that
That's why they
clean,
put them
prissy
in
look.
like
got
you know
take
so many
off that
people in
mascara,
movies
too. You
like
gotta go
smoking
this-
shit.
Just rugged look like I got. You come out there with that beard, some cowboy boots, rugged look like a wife beater with a couple stains on it. Man, I can say all that. Oh man, got your nice little suit on. And you got a wrinkle in it with some white sneakers. You look liberal as hell. All right, let's keep going. Whitworth.
Can. But for us, as we look to kind of the future and we look to moving forward, we have to understand
Darn it.
the impact that it's had. And like I said, that impact has taken place. But it's the impact on our employees, the impact on our consumers, and as well the impact on our partners. And I think one thing that I'd love to make extremely clear is that impact is my responsibility.
No,
as the
really? They should have
CEO,
fired your
everything we
ass.
do here, I'm accountable for.
Given the moment we're in, this moment in America with trans issues at the top of a Republican social or conservative political agenda, knowing what you know now, if you could go back, would you send this can to this one person again?
There's a big social conversation.
Bro,
taking
just
place
say
right now.
fucking
Big
no,
brands
dude.
are right in the middle of it, and
Bro.
it's not just our industry or Bud Light. It's
He should have
happening
just
in
said
retail, it's
no. I
happening
would
in fast
not.
food.
We lost so
And
much
so for
freaking
us, what we
money.
need to
Please, for the love
understand
of
is
God,
deeply understand
come
and
back.
appreciate is the consumer.
Buy Bud
and
Light again.
what they want, what they care about, and what they expect
Dude.
from big brands.
This is
You blew it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I'm like, hell
Yeah.
I ain't sitting that damn can in that train.
Yeah, dude. You walked that back so
That's what she
hard,
should have
dude.
said. Sales would have went through the roof.
I mean,
I think conservative.
he
would've
should have
ran
changed.
through
He
stores
should have
and
been
bought
like,
all
no,
that
I
stuff.
had
think
no
conservative
idea
business still fighting
that
over
this
that
person
bill.
did this to
yeah,
us.
we
so,
got him.
like,
We got him right where we
no,
want
I
him.
don't support that and all that stuff, dude. Because
And you
at
know
the end
what?
of the day, it's all
Y'all
about the bottom line.
misrepresent
But whatever.
things, and you do it intentionally because you're disingenuous. This is not a Republican or conservative issue. This is a family issue. Yeah. Just because I'm conservative, you mean to tell me liberal parents is okay with this? Maybe progressive parents, but the true liberal, the true moderate, a person that's sane and rational is not okay with this. You pushing beer, alcohol on underage kids and a radical fringe
Holy
ideology?
cow, dude.
What crack are you smoking? Like the guy that framed that question.
I guess I should have brought my freaking.
Yeah, all them liberals. Yeah, they misrepresent everything. Yeah, that's not a conservative
Excalibur,
Republican
huh?
issue. That's a family issue.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
See that, dude?
It's like
almost killed me. It's really weird.
It's a moral issue, because a lot of people don't see the dystopian future for women in a society. Yeah, where the science of biological sex is totally ignored for the sole benefit of a dude with nuts. Just so he can affirm
Come
who
on.
he is. Yeah. The only way this guy like
Need some more
Dylan
drops,
can affirm
man.
who he is minimizing what women are. Yeah. And you send a can to
Yeah, that's the most fucked up part, dude.
one can.
I gotta give
you
them
sending
props,
like
man.
12.
Okay, hold on. Yo. We gotta give them props for this agenda because I've never seen somebody like be so supported by like women, right? And like they advocate for women's rights, and then like the first thing they do is like take a dude who transitioned and then make them woman of the year. Then they like, take people who've transitioned and have them be like first place and breaking women's records and stuff, right? But at the same time, like with the same hand, they're like, yeah, we're all for women's rights. We're so happy about it. It is so impressive the way that they have been able to like play both sides, like basically be the most misogynistic pieces of shit you've ever fucking you've ever known, and then like also be like, yeah, but we're for women's rights. It's so impressive. I tip my hat to this agenda. It is so, I've never seen such good work. It's so crazy. It is the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
You on that line. Yeah. Now you lying now. You lying. You paid that trans money. That trans is a huge influencer. He doesn't do anything without money. You paid him money. I know you did. All right, let's keep it rolling.
They're getting it from all sides, because I asked you, would you do it again? And people on the trans rights side of things, supporting that community, want you to say yes, of course. We want that fortitude. And people on the right would criticize you for saying yes. So where are you on the issue? I mean, was this a mistake?
Bud Light has supported LGBTQ since 1998, so that's 25 years. And as we've said from the beginning, we'll continue to support the community.
Hell yeah, that's a mistake.
That we've supported for decades. But as we move forward, we want to focus on what we do best, which is brewing great beer for everyone, listening to our consumers, being humble and listening to them, making sure that we do right by our employees, take care of support.
Stop it. Look, you should have came out there waving a rebel flag, half drunk.
Yeah.
You should have had the Betsy Ross flag on one side and the rebel flag on the other side. No, you should have came out with the Betsy Ross, the American flag. No, man, if you really want to get a response, you should have came out that rebel flag. Hey, but look, this is the thing.
Because his job is to sell the beer, right? Is to like,
you actually picked a side and you knew it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your
is very dumb the way he decided to do that.
You agree with that gender ideology crap. That's why you did it. Yeah. You agree with all of it. And I mean, you should have came out. Hell no.
Whatever.
That's a huge mistake. I'm not even with
you. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. You see how much money we lost, dude? You think I'd do that again?
And you know what? Let me say this.
Like, he should be like, dude, I can't even believe I have a job right now.
You're in the business of selling beer. Yeah. Your company never came on and said, look, you transgenders, don't you damn near buy my damn beer.
That's his whole job is to sell beer.
Y'all never said anything like that. Yeah, so y'all always supported LGBTQ. Yeah, you've always, when I think of brands, nobody comes out and say, hey, if you trans or you this or you that, don't buy my brand. Mm-hmm. You never came out and did that. If you did that, yeah, I would understand you coming out and saying something, that was wrong thing to say, but why do you pick a side? You actually picked a side.
Yeah, you shouldn't be on either side.
Yeah, you pick one side over the other. Now you coming out with these wholesome, patriotic ads, and everybody know you're full of crap. I seen an ad y'all came out with a reference to 9/11. I was like, oh, y'all don't know when to stop. You can't make up for it. That was your first choice, the trans on the can. You had a chance to fix it. One can. You had to come off like a bigot but you're not really a bigot. You should just come and say,
One
look, it was
can,
wrong
bro.
to do what I did. That I picked sides. This beer is not just for trans. It's not for white people. It's for
Yeah.
everybody. It's for America.
It's for
That's what you
everybody.
should have said. How are you the CEO
Yeah.
and my dumb ass,
Amen,
black
dude.
ass, no better than you?
Yeah.
You know why? Because
Yeah.
you got that white privilege.
Hey, we're not.
I was joking.
He really fucked that
Can you
up for his
take that
company.
joke?
Yeah, I caught it, man. It's
Like,
pretty funny.
he's the
Like,
CEO. He's supposed to
do
be
better.
so like
Hey,
not on
like,
either side. He's supposed to just push
like
the
a
beer,
what?
dude. That's like his whole
Like,
job.
you
To
think you're better
like
than me? I
run
don't
the
think I'm better than
company
you.
and
I'm
like
not being
sell the beer. That's it.
condescending or anything.
That's all he's supposed to do.
Yeah, look here. Look here, man. Hey, man, you need to calm down,
I
man. You
totally
need to go
agree
and
with
say it.
this.
Man, I got that damn Biden shit again.
Let's go back to the video, man.
I totally forgot I was going to say that Biden caught up to me. Wait a minute, what was I going to say?
Partners, and ultimately make an impact in the
can't remember.
communities that we serve.
So you did point out that Anheuser-Busch has in the past supported the queer community. In fact, you had these cans in 2019 that were rainbow bottles that were sold in stores all across the country. But the political arm of Anheuser-Busch has donated to anti-LGBTQ plus politicians. So where do you stand, and where does the company stand?
Hey, he said they donated to anti-trans communities. There's no
Yeah,
anti-trans communities. That don't even exist. Yeah.
Not that I know of. Could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Radical, y'all saying men can be women. That's what we anti. And not only that, you're pushing, and you're pushing on kids. We're not anti-trans. If you want to walk around looking like a drag queen, we cool with it. We don't even care. Trust me, we don't even care. We just talk about you behind your back, but we don't.
We're going to
care.
laugh at you. And, hey, look at the man.
He thinks he's a woman.
He
Look at him.
thinks he's a woman with a beard with a dress on.
Yeah, I mean, but we're not. No Republicans are fighting for like introducing
I don't know.
legislation to ban trans people.
That gay,
That's so
bold,
weird.
homosexual intentionally misrepresent the argument. Intentionally. He did that intentionally. We're not anti anything.
Well, I think they intentionally do that to polarize it because they get more
that doesn't
views
us
and they make more money
anti-anything.
off
It's
of
just
it.
our
I mean,
opinions. Yeah.
I can't believe people aren't,
anti-Christian? Well, yeah, you are.
you know, hip to that yet. It's very
Well, y'all
interesting.
gonna burn in hell.
Hey,
Like they intentionally say this inflammatory shit to
don't
like
push it on the kids. We're cool. Yeah,
get
I'm not
views and rile
anti-gay or
people
anything,
up.
man. You don't
And look at all that
anti-trans.
damage, dude.
Ain't
What
nobody
is
anti-trans.
that?
Trying to look all masculine with that shaved head.
That's
That dude
so
ain't got a hair on
painful.
his body. I think he's hairless. Yeah, go to him. Probably shaves everything, huh? That dude is hairless. That dude look like what's that? That stuff you put
Ooh,
on your
another
beard and it just
berserker ring.
fall
That's
out?
another 5 mil
What's it
right
called?
there, dude.
Magic shave? Yeah, I can't
We are
use that.
killing it. Oh, that's
It
why
burns
I'm
my face
taking
up.
more damage than I realized. I should probably
Yeah, anti-trans.
summon another
Ain't
one of
nobody
those,
anti-
huh?
Misrepresenting the argument. Yeah,
Get
just
Bunny
keep
and
rolling.
back out there.
Putting words in our
Oh,
mouth.
look at that.
I think we
Look at
out
that.
this. Let me see.
Mark, keep it up, Earl. What happened?
What happened, man?
I want to see him in
Oh,
that chair.
6K.
Who? Look how high he's sitting up. That dude is
really
about
not that big of a deal.
5'6". He got them propped up in that chair to make him look bigger. Yeah. You see that? Look at that guy.
Yo, I
He's
just
got
saw that. Wow, that's
Wow.
funny.
Doing way too much. All you have to do is put on, well, you're wearing a purple shirt and a purple tie. Well, ain't nobody gonna see the socks. With some nice shoes, though. You got some good taste now. You gotta give them that. Just them wing tips. You know, wore some rainbow socks.
Yeah, go all in if you're gonna go, man.
Short,
Yeah, he
tight
definitely.
Shorts on. He ain't gay, Kevin. Oh, yes, he is. No, he's not. Oh man,
Some
that
short
dude is a
shorts with this
homosexual.
fucking
Can you see that?
this suit top.
He talking like this? He ain't gay, man. He just effeminate.
Like those Reno 911 freaking shorts.
I put my money.
Well, he's been on
I
the-
bet y'all look him up. I bet he's married to a man. How much you want to bet? He's just been emasculated by the liberals. No, he's a homosexual. He's been emasculated. Look him up. I bet he's a homosexual.
I kind of
bet
want
he's
these
married to a
super
white dude,
attacks,
too.
but
You know how these black liberals.
I don't know what to get rid of at
Always
this
marry white
point. Probably the rune.
Forget about that race. Man, let's
I don't
get to the
know.
interview. That was a joke. You didn't catch it. Nah, you can do better though. Yeah, I got you back. Let's keep going.
You know, we support politicians that support our business. And when we say that, we talk
7
about
minutes
things like
left.
things that work for the industry, allow us to grow.
Not
the
really sure
business,
what
allow
I
us to
could
employ more people,
do here.
and really help drive the economy.
You said at one point I heard you say,
Drinking
we're
Modelo over
listening,
here.
we hear you.
Like
What did you
5K a
hear,
pop.
and how has it
Jesus.
affected your
Modelo.
employees? I'm curious about how they're feeling and how they're dealing with all of this.
Our employees, we have 65,000. If you look at the
screwed them
18,000 Anheuser-Busch employees, and you look at the 47,000
all
Anheuser-Busch
them
wholesaler
gay.
employees, and they're full of pride and they're full of commitment. And so it's really a privilege, and it's humbling to have the opportunity to lead the organization. When you say listening, you know, I've been out to many of the impacted markets. My team has been out to many of the impacted markets. And over the last month, we've talked to over 100,000 consumers, and their feedback is very clear.
What is it?
The feedback is to reinforce what Bud Light has always meant to them, which is good times, goodwill, and easy enjoyment. And we have that all packed inside of our summer campaign that we launched last week.
I don't see the stock going back up after he comes out and takes this position.
It's right there. And I think
I feel like you have to take a harder stance for sure for this to.
You going out of business, fool.
Yeah.
That was a damn good show. You should have stayed home.
He's running that straight into the ground, to be honest.
You win free truck.
Terrible way to take that.
Code orange, fire red, and $10,000 of cold, hard American white cash. Enter the contest. Go to my website, officialhardtwins.com. Buy something from my website. That's how you get registered to win.
Crazy. Why don't you, like, dude, I cannot believe you're not going to try to walk that back at all.
Policies could hurt revenue instead. Let's see.
Very interesting.
On May 9th, 2023, Reddit user Sask100 posted an image of a message they received when visiting YouTube. It reads, "Ad blockers are not allowed on YouTube. It looks like you may be using an ad blocker. Ads allow YouTube to stay free for billions of users worldwide. You can go ad-free with YouTube Premium, and creators can still get paid from your subscription." And then it gives you the option to either allow YouTube ads or try YouTube Premium. About a day later, a YouTube employee confirmed with the subreddit moderator that this was in fact real. IGN also reached out to them for comment, and an employee told them the following: "We're running a small experiment globally that urges viewers with ad blockers enabled to allow ads on YouTube or try YouTube Premium. Ad blocker detection is not new, and other publishers regularly ask viewers to disable ad blockers."
That's really smart for YouTube to try this, to see what people are going to do. How many people actually disable it, and how many people buy premium, etc. That's smart.
Just because they say it's a small experiment, though, doesn't mean that you shouldn't work
Yeah, because
small scale.
it is actually really smart. It's a good business play at the moment because most people aren't going to stop using the service. So they see an increase in like the ads, right? Like they probably make a little bit more maybe. But even if they don't, the big fucking bonus for this is the fact that they get to, like, a lot of people might upgrade because they don't want to get the ads, right? Because they're so used to having the ad blocker, they might actually splurge and upgrade to YouTube Premium instead. And so even if it is just like a test, right, they might actually see a decent increase in revenue from people upgrading to YouTube Premium. And then even if they don't follow through with the ad blocking thing, requiring people to remove the ad blocker, even if they like walk that back, there's a lot of people who will probably still just keep paying for premium. Like there's a lot of people who just like pay for Netflix, pay for like Hulu and stuff, and they just kind of forget that they're paying for it, and they just continuously pay for it, like Amazon Prime, all that kind of stuff. Although Amazon Prime gives you a lot more bonuses than a lot of the other things that you pay for. But it's a subscription that like a lot of people might not like walk it back, even if they even if they don't like follow through with the policy. So it's actually pretty smart.
Means that they're testing the waters to see how many people are going to go.
And you're not going to stop using it, right?
I guess I'll pay for premium.
Stop using YouTube.
And then if YouTube's revenue from new memberships increase at a higher rate than any revenue lost due to users viewing less content, then they're going to see it as a success. And it's going to go from a small-scale experiment to a large-scale one as they roll it out.
Well, of course, right. The reason why they're doing this is in order to see if it would be viable on a more large scale. Absolutely.
Regions. Now, before anyone starts talking about legality or freedom of speech or whatever, it is well within YouTube's rights to have these policies in their terms of service. And we all understand that they want ad revenue to fund server costs and maximize profits.
Sure.
Let's not pretend that they're bleeding money here, though. And inversely, the right to use ad blockers also exists. In Germany, you have multiple court cases outright saying that ad blockers are legal. Meanwhile, I'm not an attorney, but you do have some fundamental concepts of law that an actual legal expert might use to say that an express contract or an implied contract is not inherently formed or enforceable just because you visit a website and agree to the terms.
Well, of course it's not enforceable because you don't know the mental state of the person that clicked the button. There's no witness to the contract. Like, obviously, a TOS isn't binding. The only time where the TOS was binding was, I think, a case that Yeah, no notary. There's nothing like that. If he was high, if somebody was underage, etc., they can change TOS. Yeah, that of course. If you know anything about contract law, which I don't really know a lot about it, but at least I know that.
I know nothing about it.
You also have historical cases
that makes a lot of
aren't
sense.
inherently about ad blocking, but are kind of in the same area, such as cases regarding property modification, website click wrappers, or even the Sony Betamax Supreme Court case, where the judge ruled that recording a program...
I was about to say, the Betamax, what the fuck? Yeah, that was before VHS. Like, my dad told me about Betamax. And I'm old.
And fast-forwarding through the commercials is legal. Fun fact, some DVRs and VCRs actually have the ability to automatically detect and skip commercials.
Yeah.
So sponsor block has kind of been around for decades now.
It has been.
For the sake of proper transparency, though, how an ad is circumvented can still be an issue in certain circumstances. And there's also plenty of ways to design.
I feel like we might have to use a dose of it. I'm not sure yet.
But we'll leave the actual discussion of legal hypotheticals to an actual attorney. Back to what I am qualified to say, though, certain data privacy laws, such as the GDPR, can make certain ad block detection methods illegal. And even government agencies, such as the FBI, say you should be using them for your own safety. And now let's talk about the Cobra effect, a phenomenon that many of you have witnessed throughout history, but may not have known about as a defined concept. The Cobra effect is essentially when someone tries to fix a problem, but their efforts either end up making the problem worse or creating a new problem entirely. The alleged origin story was that back in the 1900s, when India was still under British rule, India had a cobra problem. The British came up with a solution of offering a bounty on dead cobras to encourage the residents to kill them and reduce
An
the
actual
population.
cobra problem.
Instead, the residents just began breeding the cobras so that they could easily kill them and collect the bounty.
Yeah.
Smart.
Then when the British
smart.
canceled the program, all the cobras being bred were released into the wild, and then the cobra population was actually higher than before the program started.
Smart, yeah.
Now, I say alleged because due to the fact that most of history is lost to time, we don't have definitive proof that this
I think
event
these
ever
have crashed.
happened. The name Cobra Effect still stuck, and the concept is very much real. So I want you to keep it in mind when
Is
you
there
think
any
I guess I think they
actually
announced
happening in a way
another
that's
double XP. That's
verifiable,
why.
or is this just a hypothetical based on a story that's
I should have dropped money on
Yeah,
it.
like we're like it would be nice to have some examples of this.
about the never-ending battle between ads and ad blockers. Many advertising companies are actually okay with ad blockers because they know that most of those people are never actually going to click on the ads served to them.
And also keep in mind, the reason why advertising companies are okay with ad blockers is also because if you watch a video and you have an ad blocker on, the advertiser doesn't have to pay for that. So that means that every single time that happens, like you're effectively, so let's say if you take the general population,
you're kind of saving them money.
A person is 1% likely to buy something whenever
I
they
really
see an
want
ad on
these,
YouTube.
but
The 30%
there's nothing I can really drop that like
of the people that are
the
using
loop
ad
half
block,
of
let's
key.
say, those people are even lower than 1%. So you're actually getting a higher return on investment if you're only advertising to the people that are not using ad blocker. Yeah, it's actually a very smart thing for advertisers to say this. So we're saving the advertisers money? Yes.
So the remaining people who don't use ad blockers who see the ad, they're more likely to actually click it.
Because people that aren't using ad blockers have a higher conversion rate.
And that higher click-through rate is better for the advertisers, which allows the website owners to in turn go look at our success rate to attract
That was a pretty good trip though. 2 berserkers and a
forcing a
Sears,
large population of people who are not only never going to click an ad, but are never going to pay for YouTube Premium to now view the ads.
And this
that
up
means
though,
that the
these
click-through
on,
rate
this
is going to
on.
decrease, and then the
27 mil right there.
And advertise elsewhere because their campaigns are not as effective.
That's not including all of the Dagenham bone drops and like
so I mean, like of course advertisers,
all that stuff.
They like where would they go
Let's go ahead
if
and out these real
everywhere is
quick.
blocking ads, or sorry, is forcing people to have ads? Like yeah, they would just pay less money because they're paying based off of conversions or something like that rather than impressions. Impressions are people seeing it, conversions are people buying it.
Except the reality that there are many more options besides pay with your time or pay with your money. There's always going to be other solutions such as take your time elsewhere or find any other alternative solution. In the comments section of that same Reddit thread, one user posted a link to a website called YouTube.
I think we did okay without it.
This is a
I don't think it
mirror
was
version
that
the
big of a
main
deal.
YouTube site that doesn't have any
We definitely
advertisements
did
on
not
it.
need as many.
I, along with
It looked
many
like we
other
only went
people,
through
would
3,
have
huh?
never known this website ever
We
existed
only went through 3 of
if it
these.
wasn't for YouTube taking such an aggressive anti-ad
But we didn't do a
stance.
full hour, did
Additionally,
we?
YouTube's new experiment caused me to discover a browser add-on called Ad Nauseum. This works by blocking your ads like normal, but in the background, it clicks every single one of them. And this is so that advertisers can't build a profile on you because it looks like you just click every single ad. But this does end up meaning that the advertisers are getting their money wasted because
Paying
all
for
their
it,
ads
yeah.
are being clicked but not actually viewed. So
Yeah.
if YouTube begins to more aggressively enforce their anti-ad block stance, the ad block developers aren't just going to go, I guess I'll pack my bags and head home then.
I think
They're
I'll
going to
try
find a way to
5
one
this
up it,
time.
and then
Because
we might
I
the
don't think
ritual
that's gonna
shard really
happen,
saves us a
because
lot.
I can almost guarantee you that they could probably sue them for
We
that.
have these.
And I
Let's
guarantee
see.
you that if somebody is an add-on developer and there's a chance that they're going to get sued by like Walmart, they're going to shut that add-on down in a second. They're not even
Yeah,
going to
'cause I
try
think-
to fight that.
No, I
see
mean, we
more
really
ad
didn't
blockers
need
that
it though,
work
did
just
we?
like this. So
Not
that
really.
they're spoofing YouTube into
We get
thinking
shark
they'll allow
drops as
ads
well, so
by
it's not
clicking
really a
them,
big deal either
but
on
then the
that.
ads
So
aren't
let's just
actually
go
being
ahead and
served,
make
and it's
that.
going to waste more
Then
and more
unlock
advertiser money,
this. We're gonna
which makes
drag
their campaigns less effective
this.
and causes less of them to want to advertise with YouTube. And even if a
Yeah, and somebody does say it depends on country
Here, but I
jurisdiction,
kind of
that's
want
true.
to.
particular method does eventually become illegal, it's not really going to matter because of how
Place the
few changes you
archaeology
have to
journal
actually
one.
make to make it legal again.
Mhm.
One pretty recent gray area example,
Make
like
sure to listen to
even
that
if a
again.
particular method does eventually become illegal, it's not really going to matter because of how few changes you have to actually make to make it legal again. One pretty recent gray area example I can think of is with YouTube Vanced. This was a third-party YouTube APK for Android that enabled ad block and sponsor block. But it was discontinued due to
Should we do
legal
another
threats, and this
hour?
was likely because it also enabled certain premium features.
I
Such as
think
the pop-out
I think we
windows or the
sell
ability
the
to listen
warrior
to a
ring,
video
right?
even when your phone screen was powered off. And now you have the spiritual successor, YouTube
Oh.
Revanced. And the main loophole here is that instead of providing you with a third-party APK, it just kind of teaches you how to build your own mod yourself. So realistically speaking, the whack-a-mole game is just never going to go away.
I think that it will. And the reason why is that every single time that you do something like this, you reduce the amount of people
Yeah,
that
neither
are
of those
willing to
things
go that
really
extra
matter
step.
that much.
So like if you make it harder for somebody to use ad blocker, eventually the annoyance of ads will be the lesser of two evils.
When it comes to people and advertisements as a whole,
No, I do think so. And the reason why I think
Yeah,
so is because
I
I've had a
agree with
YouTube
that.
channel for 10 years. And I've seen how ad block changes and the amount of people that watch ads versus don't watch ads. And more people watch ads now than used to watch ads. And the biggest reason for that is because of mobile. Now, are there ways to block ads on mobile? Yes, they are.
Man,
But
if
are
we
there
had
more-
gotten
are they
another
more
ring
annoying
there
to
on
do?
that first
Yes.
kill, that would have been
So
crazy.
if you make ad blocking more inconvenient,
We probably
you
should have
will
done.
reduce
We
the
probably
amount
should
of
have
people
done
that use
the
ad
the
There is, I mean, like, you just
anadromtic
look at what's
task
happened.
and
many people are actually
then
okay with
done a
advertisements,
Slayer
but only
task
to a
with these.
reasonable extent. You have apps such as Duolingo that serves you an ad at the end of each lesson, but people also voluntarily choose to view a second unskippable ad for a small reward within the app. Many of my fellow Americans probably watch the Super Bowl and have a favorite Super Bowl ad that you'll even go onto YouTube to watch.
Sure, there's funny
Meanwhile,
ads.
one of my all-time favorite ads
Yeah,
was for
there's
a
some
Wii
pretty
game
good
back
ones.
in 2008, Wario Land Shake It. As you watch the trailer, the entire web page would break apart, and you could even drag elements of it around
Oh.
afterwards.
That's cool.
You can't do it anymore on the modern
Yeah,
YouTube
that's
webpage,
super
but
awesome.
thankfully, users such as Video Game Clip Collect and Nuke JP have preserved this ad. So
Yeah,
think about
that's
that for a moment.
badass.
I'm talking about how I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's awesome.
that an ad was preserved. And I'm not the only person who's ever said that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have entire compilations of commercials on YouTube with
Mhm.
millions of views and millions of positive comments.
Oh yeah.
So if people tolerate ads and even have ads that they like, what YouTube and other companies
I think it's really beneficial for people who do marketing as well for those to be on there because they get to see like what worked, what people were liking about it. You also get a whole bunch of feedback, in the comment section for these videos as well. So like honestly, it's kind of like a marketer's wet dream when it comes to like having these compilations of like really good commercials that that people really enjoyed and have rewatched multiple times. Okay, I'm not too happy about that. I don't know how much longer that's going to go on. Okay, it looks like we stopped getting attacked from over there.
Asking themselves is, why are people using ad blockers on our website in the first place? And the answer comes down to the quantity of the ads and the quality of them.
Yeah.
People who use ad blockers didn't start out
a lot.
I
and
think
then
that
like
if you probably took the random generic Raid Shadow Legends sponsor,
yeah,
and then you compared the click-through rate of that, not click-through, but like skip rate of that, and you compared it to like Internet Historian ads, I bet there are more
it'd
people
be
that
way
don't
different.
skip Internet Historian ads. There is
Oh,
absolutely
for
a
sure.
spectrum.
Using them on day
I
one.
would
They
way
browse the
rather
internet
watch
like
that ad
normal until they
than
reached a
Raid
tipping
Shadow
point
Shadow
where they said,
Legends.
enough is enough, and then they went out
Yeah.
to find an ad blocker. Many people were pretty understanding and tolerant of a single pre-roll ad, skippable or not, but then as that number continued to grow, more and more people hit that breaking point and just said, enough is enough, there's gotta be a better way.
And I think that's really kind of what it is. It's kind of like Spotify. Like back in the day, if you wanted to get new music, what you had to do is you actually had to download a
file, and the
you had to like go to Best Buy, go to Walmart, go to like Circuit City.
Oh,
and actually
I guess he's
buy
talking
a
about
CD.
way back in
and
the
like
day.
the
Okay,
CD
yeah.
was like $17, $15,
Yeah.
$10, $8, whatever, right? And you would only have the music for that CD. Versus now, you have Spotify and you pay $15
for
and you can get
everything,
all
yeah.
the music that you want. So I think that Spotify is actually, and I actually, like, I used to pirate music all the time. Now I never pirate music because Spotify is just such a great service for such a great value, and the value extends beyond just the being able to listen to the music. It's the way the music is stored. It's the multi-device capabilities of it, and just the way that I can share music with other people. I think Spotify is amazing. And
stay on top of this, man.
Truth is that, like, you compare that with Twitch ads, for example, because like Spotify is an example that like
I wonder how many
people were
kills we're
getting
gonna get in
something for
the
free,
hour.
and then
I
they
probably should have
moved to
checked
paying
that,
for it.
huh?
How many of you guys? Yeah, convenience is king. You're exactly right. How many of you guys were the exact same as me? You were Pirate Bay enjoyers, you were LimeWire enjoyers, and now you are a Spotify enjoyer. Yeah, lots of people.
Yeah.
Okay. So Twitch is the opposite because it's just way overdone. Like Twitch is the ads are just
So
insane
overdone
on Twitch. Like you can spend multiple minutes just watching one ad or one block of ads, and then you go to another stream and it's the same fucking thing.
Another block of ads.
It's insane. So Turbo, it's like, yeah, you do have Twitch Turbo for that. That's nice, but the problem is that like YouTube. How many of you guys, like, for me, I spend way more time on YouTube than I do on Twitch. Like I probably watch Twitch streams for less than 5 minutes a day every day, straight up. Like, I feel like anything that's really funny from a Twitch stream, I'll probably see it on YouTube anyway. Who gives a fuck? I don't want to watch the
You get a clip of it, and then you don't even have to watch the whole stream.
YouTube,
If you
I don't worry
about
about getting an ad blocker on my mobile phone because it's
if
just
you're not
one
super
or two
invested
skippable ads.
in the person.
15 seconds, who cares? It's not a big deal. And if it was the same way on Twitch, I feel like more people wouldn't use ad blocker. But it's a matter of like it becomes too much, way too much.
Now that we've reached the point where enough people sat together in a room and said, serving 5 to 10 unskippable ads at a time sounds like a brilliant idea.
I have never received this, by the way, on YouTube. I have never received 7 of 10 or 1 of 5 ads. The most I have ever received,
I think I've had like 1 of 3.
A set of 2 ads, and one was unskippable and the other one was not. And most of the time it's one skippable ad after 5 seconds.
How could anyone be surprised that more people than ever are using ad blockers? And many people do value their time as a currency, sometimes just as much.
It's probably a more recent
than money. So as the
Well,
money
of course their time is a currency. If it wasn't a currency, then the ad people wouldn't be paying
when it exists.
For their time. It is a currency.
Price or the chronological price
I
increases.
think everybody has figured that out by now.
But perhaps the bigger issue at hand for many people is not the quantity of the ads, but the quality of the ads. Most viewers on YouTube aren't receiving average, ordinary, family-friendly ads. You got Hustle.
Yeah, it's some fucking furry ad or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Or
We've
Mr.
actually, yeah,
Beast
I've seen a
scams,
lot
so
more of
bros with
those.
their
It's
get rich
not
quick scams. You got multiple
Mr.
marketing
Beast
ads that are
scams,
hidden in
yeah.
their income disclosure
Just a
statement.
triangle.
It reveals that 99% of people lose money. Games that are deceptively nothing like the advertisement, some of which include blatant copyright
Love The
infringement to
Office,
deceive
man.
users. Sketchy websites that make it.
Yeah, I think YouTube is really, I think they're really dropping the ball with like their approval process for ads. I feel like they're really dropping the ball recently.
Contains spyware and malware and vulgar
So true, dude.
content to the point where YouTubers such as Saberspot
Yeah.
have talked about them.
That's my hero
only
right
for
there.
him to get in trouble for showing the exact footage that advertisers
He's on
used to do
autopilot,
on the
bro.
show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you were using something such as Sponsor Block, you may have never even heard of various sketchy sponsors such as established titles until YouTubers such as Scott Schaefer started covering them.
We watched that video.
And because people aren't
Wow,
asking
look at
basic
that
questions
damage.
such as,
Hello?
is this company allowed to use this IP to advertise?
Hey, dude,
or
I'm using
if this
Virtus,
title
bro.
were legally binding, why aren't the locals using it?
What was
Why
that
aren't there more
damage, bro?
lords and ladies in Scotland
Hello?
or Saudi princes if it's this easy? This means that you are
Just
significantly
getting
safer
fucking
by using
wrecked,
ad
bro.
blockers and sponsor blockers, and that's why so many government
What's up
agencies,
with that?
such as the FBI, says you should be using them. Now, because
Actually a
bad
little
advertisers
confusing. Oh,
usually
nice.
just
A
get
mud
slap on the
stab,
wrist
huh?
instead of
And this is a problem, right?
Oh,
Because
that's so sad, dude.
it creates a
It's kinda
it
like
creates
better
a
just to
completely
allocate, to be
clean
honest.
moral justification for using ad block. Because I think that you can make the argument that if everybody used ad block and nobody saw any ads, then YouTube couldn't exist in the way that it does now. So because of that, I think that you can make an ethical argument that watching ads is part of the social contract that you sign going into watching videos and content on a certain website. Because if everybody did not do that, or sorry, if nobody did that, then the website could not function.
Kind of sucks
This
we
is
haven't got
just
a
an
shark
objective
drop
fact.
yet.
The website could not
That'd be kinda
function
useful
without
right now.
advertising. So if nobody does advertising, then that would be it. Nobody would be able to see anything. So if that's the case, I think that many people would probably be like, it would be harder to justify using an ad blocker, and I think that it would be easier to defend YouTube for trying to stop people
Well,
from
you know
using
what's
ad
doing a whole
blockers
bunch of damage
because
to
they're
us
doing
is the
it
fact
in
that
a
I have
legitimate
that
way. That's absolutely not the
Kendrill
truth.
deal on. That's
Oh,
what
of
it
course
is,
it
guys.
is. No, of course it. It's not even a question. You're delusional. Are you crazy?
Figured it out.
If nobody saw
If we
ads,
rotate to Mage
how would
again,
the-
we're probably
how
gonna
would
switch
these
that out with
websites
like
make any
chain
money?
or something.
So it's like you can make an
I think it'll be
ethical
better.
argument that using ad blocker could be an unethical behavior, but that argument immediately goes into garbage whenever there are ads that are like these weird porn games with like furry like foxes
Yeah.
and shit that are being advertised on Minecraft videos, Mr. Beast
Yeah,
scams,
on fucking kids for
scam video
children,
games
dude.
and bullshit like that.
Yeah.
any form
Facts,
of legal
dude.
or civil
Facts.
penalties,
Big facts.
does that mean that you can never expect the company or the people who run these
Like, there are
sketchy
some really
advertisements
weird
to
ads that
accept
like pop up.
responsibility and compensate the viewers when they demonstrate a complete lack of quality control and promote these ads which give them a sense of legitimacy before the advertisements exploit the viewers?
I think we
that
rotate
I
these.
actually do think that we can hold YouTube accountable for that. I do think it is YouTube's fault that this is happening. Like, it's not like, oh, well, shit happens. Like, yes, shit does happen.
Yeah, because they
but
have
shit is
a
happening,
team.
like,
They're supposed
way
to have a
too
team
much.
that way.
Like, I'd be
Manage that
okay
shit,
if there
bro.
was, like, every once in a while there's a
Yeah,
bad ad.
there
Like,
we go.
Sure, right? I mean, there's just, that's life. But it's like most of them are bad.
Of course not. I'm not an attorney, so take this next bit with a grain of salt, but I do think that this
Yeah,
distinct
we'll take a
lack of
lot less
accountability
damage
may
now. We
actually be
won't
part
run
of the
into that
reason why
again.
you don't see companies
Thank goodness.
actively trying to lobby and change the laws to restrict the use of ad blockers. With the current system, there's so many intermediaries between a website and the ads that they run that they all get to point the fingers at each other and play the blame game whenever something goes awry. If they push too hard to try and change the laws, it could have a Cobra effect for them by creating stricter regulations for internet advertising. It could create more distinct guidelines on someone getting in trouble for making an ad with a fake close button or a fake download link. And it could even create an opportunity
I hate
for
those too.
website owners themselves to
I
be
hate
held
those.
liable for damages if they fail to implement quality control and then their ads go on to harm
You get those in a
users.
lot of mobile
After
games. They
Enron
really love
collapsed
doing
and the
that shit.
Sarbanes-Oxley Act passed in 2002, it created a new standard where CEOs and CFOs had to legally certify all financial statements as accurate, and they could face very steep civil or legal penalties if they certified a statement that was false or misleading.
Okay.
Sure.
While it did scare some people into compliance very quickly, it also caused nearly 500 companies to just voluntarily delist themselves from stock exchanges.
It sounds like a bit of a self-report, right?
They were really scared about now having their name on that paper.
Yeah.
And I imagine that if you're in the advertising industry, you don't want to run the risk of having to certify the ads on a site as safe. Many of the specifics of that topic are still much better suited for
Yeah, 'cause it costs you money.
I think also, like, it's you can talk about laws as much as
All about
you
the
want,
bottom line,
but
baby.
I think a lot of it is just going to be kind of like a like, not everything has to go to court, you know? Like, sometimes there are just arguments that are made, and it's hard to enforce things on the internet in general because the internet exists globally, and people that are on a global platform all have different laws. So I think that you should expect to, if you're not paying for something, you should expect to see ads. And if you expect to not pay for something at all and not see ads at all, I don't think that's fair. However, I think that there are extremes, like Twitch is right now, that is just completely unreasonable. Like, it is tremendously unreasonable, the amount of ads that Twitch.
Like, that's the whole reason I really don't like watch anything on Twitch, to be honest, at the moment. Is like, I have like tried to like get into watching a stream, and then literally I like opened it up, I started watching, and then I like an ad instantly played, right? Like, after you get in, like, it was like a couple minutes in, and then I get an ad roll. And then that was like 5, 10, like, it was a long ad, like maybe 5 minutes worth of ads. Like, it was a pretty long ad. And then right after that, it like comes back to the stream, and like not even a minute later, it's another 5-minute ad. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch this. This is just a waste of my time if it's just gonna be like back-to-back ads. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience.
And because of that, you have people moving away. And also, there's the fact of like the free market.
It didn't make sense.
Is that the free market, people can just go to another website, and I think that's the way that it should be solved in almost all cases.
So what do we do with this? We out
there
this?
are,
Yeah,
like,
it's an alcohol.
Whenever somebody is being like genuinely harmed with like a malicious ad, then yeah, there needs to be accountability. But whenever it's just like a moral conundrum on the internet, I think in a lot of these cases, the free market can make decisions by itself. And I think that's
it'll definitely
from a business perspective,
nudge those out of the way.
Sense to maintain the ambiguity, and then shift the blame to the ad block users whenever the topic comes up. Now let's have a fun look at distancing layers and how small details can make a huge difference. Let's pretend that you're watching TV with your family. The commercials come on, so you hit the mute button. But then a family member turns to you and says, "Hey, you can't mute the TV during the commercials. That's theft." And then you watch and give all sorts of personal information to the network owners.
There's already patented technology that detects where your eyes are, that tells the viewer, or sorry, the advertiser, whether you're actually watching the ad or not. And it will pause the ad if you're not looking at it. Yeah, this technology not only exists, but it's already been patented.
Cable provider. And when you look at some of the patents that have been filed over the years, it's not even a far stretch of the imagination.
That's so terrible.
To say that people have actually flirted with the idea.
I need to put some real perks on my
you to make sure
Dragon Rider Lands, dude.
Yeah,
I probably should.
Now let's pretend that you're at the local park with a friend.
That's crazy.
All the hot singles in your area, and then when you ignore it and walk past them, your friend says, "You can't
It's Jeff,
do
bro.
that. He paid to advertise here so that freeloaders like you don't have to pay to enter the park. He is entitled to have you listen to his entire speech." And then when you finally meet your obligation and try to leave, the man purposely bumps into you, forcing you to give him personal information. Most people would never tolerate these conditions in a physical setting, but then make one small change as to the technology being used to serve you.
People want to wear privacy security around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the mentality in some people changes. And this phenomenon of distancing layers via technology is actually really common. Think of how many friends you have that would never fall for a
Makes a lot
traditional
of sense.
multi-level marketing scheme, get-rich-quick scam, penny stock pump and dump. But then you change the technology to, say, cryptocurrency,
NFTs,
and then some of those red flags.
Yeah.
flags just subconsciously go
It's totally
away.
different.
I've seen real life examples
Yep,
of
totally
people who
different.
on one hand are aware enough to say all these influencers trying to shill this penny stock just want to pump and dump me.
Yeah.
But then later on they say, yeah, I really do think that this doggy themed token with no utility is going to 100x, so I better get in quick. And you might even know somebody who went, I'm not going to do this.
Doubling money.
Hell yeah.
I feel like, again,
Yo.
it's like,
RuneScape
yes,
is the best.
fraud. You need to convict people for fraud.
Yeah, that stuff, but like, yo, so many life lessons come from old school RuneScape, guys. If you if you want to learn about life, you just have to play. I think every kid should be required to play old school RuneScape for a little bit. It'll teach you so fast. On a lot of this stuff, man. That's so brutal. Honestly, with the way the Grand Exchange is set up too, I feel like you could use it to teach a lot of stuff about that as well.
Fraud. There has
Really
to
funny.
be accountability for it. But
That's hilarious.
man, you gotta look out for
The OG
yourself
coming
too.
back, bro.
It's
Doubling
like I
money,
see
dude.
somebody like
Trimming
you
armor,
are still a
100K.
fucking idiot if you have this shit happen to you.
RuneScape scammer might go, oh my goodness, Obama's doubling my Bitcoin on Twitter.
Yep.
So many new scams are just old scams with new technology because of these very same
Yeah.
psychological
Doubling
distancing
people's
barriers
money.
that we subconsciously create. Now let's
Yeah.
discuss price discrimination,
Makes so
specifically
much sense.
third-degree price discrimination, where specific demographics are charged different amounts. If you go to, say, a museum, you might notice that different groups pay different prices. If you only think about things in terms of profits, you may think that you're losing out on potential money by not charging equal prices. But all value is subjective, and you want to find that perfect ratio of price to demand for each group in order to maximize your profits. At
Well,
college
this is why, like in clubs, they have girls that get in for fucking free in some
For
of
free,
these
yeah.
clubs. Because if the guys know there's girls in there, well, then they're
Yeah,
gonna
they're
wanna
like, yeah, I'll pay to get
the
in.
club. I
Yep.
mean, that's just how it is. And remember what they always say: if you're not paying for a product, you are the product.
Yeah,
discount
that's
isn't
so
because
true.
they think that college students are better than other groups of people. It's because they generally have less income,
I like
so
that
they're less
saying.
likely to be able to show up in the first place if they have to pay full price.
This is actually a thing that they do with grocery stores. I wasn't even aware of this. My dad was telling me about this because he had a conversation with somebody at
Really?
one of the local grocery stores about this. That the same product costs more or less money based off of which grocery store it's at, because of the socioeconomic status of the people that shop at that grocery store. So like you're getting farmed
that makes
to
sense.
pay more money just because you go to a certain grocery store. Isn't that insane?
Yep.
In the same
That is
city.
insane.
Whole Foods? I mean, you're getting farmed hey, bro, if you go to Whole Foods, that's
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
do.
yeah. You're getting
Meanwhile,
farmed, yeah.
that senior citizen discount is because
You're lining
so
up
many
for
of them
that
grew
one.
up used to things being cheaper, that if you charge them full price, they're more likely to hit that cutoff point and say, this is just too much, it's not worth it. And then in this example, military getting free admission is going to be because there are just so many competitive free attractions in the area that if they have to pay anything, they're just going to take their time elsewhere.
Well, here's the real good fucking example is on Veterans Day and Memorial Day and a few other days, they give free meals to veterans at Golden Corral. Guess where my dad and I are at every Veterans Day?
Golden Corral, baby.
That's right. And like, yeah, he gets a free meal, but I don't, and I pay for a meal. Golden Corral gets my fucking money that day for sure.
This doesn't mean that they cause huge losses for the museum every time they show up. There are other ways they can contribute to the profits, such as buying food, drinks, or souvenirs. And there are other non-monetary benefits too, such as contributing to good PR for the museum, and the military members are contributing to the higher metrics that the museums get to use to entice partnerships and investors.
Sure.
And now let's apply a third-degree price discrimination model to YouTube. In the United States, premium membership is currently $11.99 per month, but you can't charge that same rate equally across every single country. Between factors such as exchange rate, minimum wage, purchasing power, cost of living, if you try to apply the same price to every single country, you're going to have several countries where they go, well, the price of premium.
Yeah, we can't pay for that.
This is the same problem that
It's
like
more than my house, than my
guys
mortgage,
in like South
my
America have with WoW.
rent and everything.
Is it like they're like, oh, I can't fucking pay $15 a month for WoW? That's the equivalent of like $195 here. It's nuts.
Is more than I make in a month, so I can't even afford this in the first place. So then with strategic pricing in mind, at the very bottom you have the ad block users. Currently, they do not see the subjective value of the time price, and they do not see the subjective value of the monetary price of premium either. So many of these customers are ones who...
I think that, again, like we're talking about subjective value, a lot of people just... It's not about a value proposition. They just don't want to see ads. There's not like a way that you're going to convince them to watch ads. They just don't want to watch ads.
Would just not waste as much time on YouTube, or may even leave YouTube altogether if they were forced to pay in one form or another. They still have ways to contribute value though. Some disable their ad blockers for their favorite creator, some buy super chats, but most importantly, they still contribute watch data and other analytics that allows YouTube to say, look at our overwhelming market share, and then all that data is what attracts so many investors in the first place.
I don't like this argumentation because the reason why that watch data and those analytics are valuable is because they're leveraged with marketing money. Because if you have 1 million people that watch you and nobody sees an ad, you just serve the ad to nobody. So like I don't really think it's a one-to-one there. And it's like, yes, obviously this could be true on like a generality level, but if you look at it from like a logical perspective, I actually think that the value of a person who is paying literally $0 and not watching any ads at all is actually a net negative. Like, for example, if every single person on Twitch did what I did on this channel and they turned off all of their ads, Twitch would go bankrupt. And that would be it. It would be over. And it wouldn't matter how many people are watching because you can't monetize that viewership.
YouTube would love it if these people help them earn more money, but anybody saying that they contribute nothing of value to YouTube is objectively and demonstrably wrong.
I do disagree with that because I think that the value proposition of that investment and of those analytics are the potential of those analytics being leveraged only works out if they're dollars. So if by the nature of the analytics existing, they only exist because they can't be leveraged towards advertising dollars, I don't think the analytics would be valuable in the first place.
Whoops.
So I don't agree with that.
Especially when every single viewer doubles as a product, which is likely a huge reason why YouTube could go banning users with ad blockers, but they don't. If the free users of YouTube were really this much of a drain on profits, then it would have stopped being a free service a long time ago. It would have either become paid only, or they would have limited the amount of free content for non-paying users. When you think of who is a stakeholder in a company,
man, are we not gonna get a ring this rotation?
You probably think, anyone who owns
already gonna go dry.
Money directly into the company.
Unfortunate.
Well, those are in fact stakeholders.
I mean, we still got like 35 minutes, but
one of the most important stakeholders is the customer. One of the most grossly misrepresented quotes of all time is, the customer is always right in matters of taste. A lot of us tend to ignore that second half and think that it means people need to bend over backwards to please us. But what it really means is that the best product or service is the ones that the people choose. And if so many users are choosing to access YouTube in...
Well, I think that the customer is always right is meant as a collective statement, not this individual customer is always right.
Yeah, specific, yeah.
The other way besides the default settings, well, that's just the free market speaking. If not enough people are buying your premium service, then it means that the current tactic of creating a problem in order to sell a solution is not enough, and you have to create more incentives to buy. But to be completely fair to YouTube here, this is an uphill battle that they face because of the way that we perceive rewards. Let's pretend that we live in a fantasy world where somebody actually made a good play-to-earn video game.
Imagine
everything
that.
Looks good on paper. People play video games for free,
and people
pay to play video games. So introducing a reward means that people should really enjoy playing your game if it's good.
Sure.
So at first, you have a bunch of people playing, selling, you got buyers, and people who are playing non-stop make $200.
Okay, I probably shouldn't have used that spec.
But then over time, basic factors such as supply being sold outweighing demand being bought, and then people just having to settle for selling for less, your average goes from $200 a week.
This is giving me Diablo 3 PTSD hearing this because this is exactly what happened in Diablo 3.
Yeah, basically.
I used to be able to make $1,000 a week, and then it was like $600 a week, and then it was like fucking $200 a week. It was like $50 a week.
Fuck.
Week to $100 a week.
Yep.
Well, plenty of people are still happy because they still like the game, and before, I mean, they were playing games for free. But then, as the trend continues, you go from making $200 a week to, say, 50 or 25, and then more and more people are just saying, this isn't worth it anymore. It doesn't matter that the game on its
own. Another compounding variable that, like, this guy's like, I don't know if he's going to bring this up or not, is that if you start people at making $20 a week, they're going to feel a whole lot better than if you start them at making $200 a week and you move them down to making $20 a week.
Own was actually considered good because once you introduce rewards to it, you cannot scale them back. And this is essentially what has happened to many longtime YouTubers. It used to be that you would exchange your time and your reward, instead of being $100, it would be 100% pure YouTube video with no ads. But then over time, your reward goes from 100% video to 90% video, 10% ad, and then as it goes further and further, eventually most people hit that point where they say this payout rate isn't enough. And even if you do pay, not all of the problems go away.
Yeah.
Right now, free YouTube with legal add-ons is far better than paid YouTube. So can you really blame anyone for not seeing the value of premium? YouTube really does have to start thinking outside of the box to bundle enough perks that people say, I see how this service provides value that free YouTube could never possibly provide me. Just like with
because
I'm gonna be real. Like, they could probably make it to where you couldn't have ad blocker. I think that what they do already is they just occasionally disable an ad blocker for a while, and every single time that you do that, the amount of people that are using ad blocker gets a little bit smaller. And it might grow over time, but just shrinking it a little bit over and over and over, I bet that's pretty effective. Because again, like if you make it annoying enough for people to get ad blocker, they'll just watch ads. And again, everybody says, "Nah, I'll leave." Where are you gonna go? Where
the fuck you gonna go, bro? I mean, although now we have like Rumble and like Kick and like there is some other options, kinda, but not really. Let's be real. Like YouTube is like has a very good UI. Is relatively good. The ads aren't like crazy intrusive just yet. I mean, it's really like a decent balance. It's really not that bad, okay? But I have to agree with him on a lot of these points. Although, man, there was something I was gonna say, but I totally forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, because like YouTube, the YouTube Premium deal, like YouTube Red or whatever it's called, right? Like, I don't think like their exclusive stuff is like really is enough of a sell. Besides the no ads, like I think the no ads is kind of like a bigger deal than the like exclusive things that they have on it. To be 100%
TikTok,
honest,
there's ads on TikTok too. Go to Kick. Yeah, there you go. Go
Maybe
outside.
it's better now.
Yeah. See, everybody's lying here.
With the Netflix.
Yeah, everybody's a fucking
Didn't
liar.
we just see this happen with Reddit? Everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna protest this big problem," but then whenever they do, it doesn't like. There's no effect of it because there's nowhere else for them to go. Yeah, it literally just happened.
Thing, if you make the paid options better than the free options, people will pay for it.
Yep.
That spec
Spotify
is
a great
so
example of
good.
That's
So
very
much
much
damage in one shot.
emotionally charged subjective side of things. You will see an endless back and forth between one person saying they shouldn't have expected it to be free forever, and then them saying, well, they've crossed the fine line between necessity to survive and greed. But I won't get too into that. I think the universal take.
I think that for most people, the reason why they pirate and the reason why they use ad block is a combination between wanting to save money and convenience. That's what it really comes down to. Like it's not like this is an ethical or like some moral decision that most people make. I don't think so. I think it's just as simple as they want to save money and they don't want to have to see this shit, and that's it. Like there's
3,000 dad kills.
I think most people, it's the same with like pirating and
unfortunately
stealing.
We have
people
all
collections.
collections.
They justify it like, oh well, this is $1 billion company, so it's okay for me to steal from them. Meanwhile, these people steal from anywhere else too. It's not like they really give a shit, right? It's just an excuse. Like most people are just doing it because it's convenient and it's effective. It saves money. As Gabe Newell said himself, that something along the lines of the solution to piracy is a good platform. He said piracy is it's a service or a delivery problem. That's what Gabe Newell said. And I think it is true. Spotify does quantify that, absolutely. But it's a service problem, yeah. But I also think that there are a lot of people that just don't like seeing ads, period.
Away we can get from those arguments.
I don't think most people like seeing ads. Like unless it's your grandma or your grandpa, right? Like then you kind of put up with ads, but like most people in this day and age, like ads are kind of like a thing in the past. Like at least like long form ads. Like my dad watches Fox News all the time, right? And like honestly, it's so hard to watch because an hour show is only is like maybe 15 minutes of actual like show, and then the rest of the time is just fucking commercials. It's horrible, dude. It is like it is definitely a dated way to like do to like watch shows and stuff. It's just it makes no sense, to be honest. I can't really like think at the moment for some reason. I'm like hitting I'm having some freaking brain farts at the moment. But yeah, like it's just really just outdated when you have just such a little bit of like content with so much like advertisement, and just it doesn't make any sense. It really ruins the product at that point. And it's terrible. It's like Twitch almost, except Twitch is probably still better than like regular TV.
To get them to pay is generally a bad business idea.
Yeah.
It's not working for Twitter, and it's not working for people trying to lock previously basic features behind paywalls. Something I found out as I was trying to grab a few headlines is that AdBlock Plus actually does have a quality control program where they do permit non-intrusive ads through the ad blockers. I can't give a properly qualified opinion on it because I've never used it.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
And I do have a few initial concerns, such as potential conflict of interest arising from the same group
very easily corruption
that approves the ads also being paid by the advertiser.
Yeah.
But the customer is always right in matters of taste, and 500 million downloads implies that people tolerate tolerable ads. Many people.
And that's really what it comes down to. It's the same as on YouTube. Like the reason why people, like, I bet that, and again, like I'm just basically talking out my ass here, and I'm basically just assuming that people do the same thing that I do. But like the reason why I spend way more time on YouTube on my phone than on Twitch is because of the ads. Another big reason. Like it's not just because most streams are fucking boring. It's also because of the ads. Like I don't want to sit through one of 8. I just want to go to YouTube and watch something and then it's over. That's it. So it's like, again, there are a lot of these cases where the solution is the free market. And YouTube also has ads. And there are other platforms like Instagram where you have almost no video ads. But I spend more time on YouTube that has more ads than Instagram does because I think the content is better. Don't you have Twitch Turbo?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Would gladly disable ad blockers for their favorite creators if it was safe to do so. If you already do disable your ad blocker for your favorite website or content creator, that's fine, you're allowed to. And inversely, that website or content creator is allowed to
has a lot of bandwidth saved, bro. Time saved, dude. 15.5 hours, bro. That's crazy.
Instead of, say, Netflix,
I'm not gonna lie.
Also respect your decision if you say no, because we were all aware of this possibility as we got into YouTube. And look, we all like the idea of having more money with less effort as opposed to less money with more effort. I am no exception to that rule. But if somebody is crossing that line between politely asking and trying to guilt trip you or coerce you, all chances.
Keep in mind, little fun fact, you got one of these situations, a little bit of this problem. What you want to do is you want to go ahead, you want to Google the title of the article and then go to the triple dot next to the link to the article on Google and search for the cached version. The cached version of many of these articles does not have the paywall enabled, and you can read the articles for free.
They are either one, not fully aware of the risks it poses to you, and that's not entirely their fault, which is why I like to say don't hate, educate.
Yeah.
Or 2, they have been fully educated on the risks it poses to you, and they are willing to expose you to that risk in order to make money off of you.
Sure.
So in conclusion, if you want people to not use ad blockers on your website, you got to make the quantity and the quality of them tolerable. Forced compliance will only make things worse for everyone, not just the viewers, but the advertisers and the website hosts. But in a world...
Well, I think that also, like, the forced compliance is like, it's like 10x worse whenever you have ads that are unsafe and scams. I think that you can make a justification for forced compliance because, again, you don't have a... Like, nobody has a right to go to YouTube, right? Nobody has a right to go to Twitter.
That's true.
Like, it's just that, you know, the way... Like, this is the contract that you sign by going to these different platforms. But I do think that it actually makes the companies in the
you probably should buy these
the
upgraded version
that
of
they are
these.
forcing you to watch things that are damaging or destructive. Like, I think
I look into upgrading the staff too.
Where kids get ads for
like, should we upgrade to a noxious staff?
In the other case, I don't think it's as.
So we have the Cyware wand and orb, and it's kind of a waste to get the staff.
Where enabling ads can put you at risk even if you don't click them. Where we have so many.
Maybe I should bring the orb and wand.
Guides
so we get faster kills
the
with
fake
those.
ones with malware. And where even Google accidentally allows the first result for YouTube.
It's not really a big deal, I guess.
Fake Microsoft Windows tech support. Good luck convincing anybody to surf the web of digital STDs without a digital condom. Especially when YouTube employees get caught using ad blockers.
So good.
Don't let people shift the blame to you, the victims, who just want to stay safe. Let the people who created and enabled the problem to fix their own problem.
Yeah.
One final fun
I mean, that would be nice, but...
Ethan Zuckerman, the inventor of the pop-up ad, has apologized for it, and he went on to call advertising the original sin of the web. And while I won't excuse his actions, in his defense, if he didn't invent it, somebody else definitely would have. And he also has done some noteworthy things in his life afterwards. He set up the internet in third world countries, and he resigned from MIT after he found out about his lab's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. So I wouldn't necessarily call him.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
my question of the day
impressive.
for you all is, for those of you who
somebody
use
with some fucking actual scruples.
What was your breaking point? What caused you to finally say, enough is enough, I can't handle these ads anymore? Let me know in the comments below. That's all I got for now. Have a wonderful day.
I think he brings up some good points. I think that also there's probably a lot of give and take with this. It's a very complex argument because, again, I think that if you are trying to show an ad and the ad is like, it's not predatory, it's not a scam, it's not a virus, you have everybody using ad blocker, that video could not exist. And in that situation, I do think that in a way it is unethical to use an ad blocker. Because if you, and that, by the way, like, you don't see me turning mine off, okay? Like, I have no problem doing something that's unethical. However, it is. So, and it's like, again, I have no problem with that. I just don't like, I hate seeing the justifications. I hate the justifications. That's what really annoys me. If you want to do something bad, you want to steal something, do it with a smile, but don't fucking tell me you're Robin Hood. It's so annoying. But again, whenever you have these ads that are scams, you have these ads that are misleading, etc., that's what the problem is, and that's what's dangerous. And so
it's definitely
at that
a problem.
point, I think that the ethical argument no longer exists. And
do we make the next 20 minutes with how many we have? I think we
it's
do.
Completely ethical to use an ad.
I'm not really burning through these superstores, to be honest.
And I think that's the problem here. And also,
we do need some more DPS though against this mage guy, because this is not good.
Is because the ads on Twitch are just fucking crazy, man. They're absolutely fucking insane. Like, we were watching, who were we watching the other day? Zeals? We were watching Zeals, and he got fucking 6 minutes of ads. We were trying to watch Tectone do rolls for Seal, and I got hit with ads. Like, I don't know how many times I've watched somebody else's stream, and I get hit with 6 minutes of ads, or 3 minutes of ads.
A ton of ads,
30 seconds. It's nuts. When I buy Turbo, I just haven't. Like, that's about it. 30-second ads that can't be skipped, 2 in a row is a done deal with Twitch. Well, the thing is, 1 minute of ads isn't even that bad. It's the 3 minutes of ads. It says it's 115 seconds left. And is targeted as a random TV channel? Yes. And well, that's between Twitch and the advertiser. I think these advertisers are getting fleeced, to be honest with you. But yeah, even if you've just watched an ad, you click creator with high viewership, you get a pre-roll, which locks you in until you watch. Yeah. It's very annoying. But yeah, I do think that these websites can effectively make it harder for you to use ad blockers, and it will be effective. And I think that the reason that I think that is because that's what happens on mobile. Is that it's more annoying and harder to get an ad blocker on mobile than it is on a PC, and less people use ad blockers on there. It's that simple. I do absolutely think that you can make it harder for people to ad block. Now, you can never stop somebody from ad block. It's not going to happen. But you can reduce ad block down to the point to where it is so inconvenient to do
nobody
that
uses it.
it's unrealistic that an average person will do it. That's all you need to do. It's the same as like laws don't get rid of crime, they just reduce it. On Twitch, you miss actual content when it's being played. On YouTube, you don't. That's true. Yeah, Twitch's
That's also true. Yeah.
Twitch's ad system is the worst.
Doesn't stop the video for it.
It's fundamentally cannibalistic. I agree. What about ads? Make it ethical to stop videos.
Foolish. You would think
What
with
about
how much
ads
money they started to
make
make,
it
they
ethical
would.
to stop? Sorry, I'm not sure what
would
you mean
change
by
it up.
that.
That's why they're
Have
losing
you
out
seen
to
any
some.
other
That's
site
why
more
these
aggressive than
creators are
Twitch
getting
at
huge
combating
deals
ad block?
for these
Any
other
site more aggressive
streaming
than Twitch at combating
services.
ad block? Yes, I have. There's many websites that literally just don't allow you to access them if you have ad block on. You're coping there?
Yep.
I think that
there's a
you
lot of
can't
those.
really say that I'm coping whenever I'm giving an example. Like, you can say I'm coping if I'm talking about what I think people are going to do, but whenever I'm giving an example of what people have already done, I think that's kind of unfair, right? Do streamers adjust ads on their stream? It's, yes and no. To be honest, when I watch your stream on Twitch, and a big reason of it is because you don't run ads. Yeah, but, like, the fundamental truth is that while everybody complains about ads on Twitch, ads have not affected people's Twitch viewership. They haven't. As much as you want to complain about it and talk about how bad ads
That's
are,
crazy. It's affected mine.
And again,
I just don't watch
it has
Twitch.
for me, but doesn't matter for you. Because you don't matter. The collective matters. Like, whenever you say, oh, well, it is
The
because of me,
averages matter.
it doesn't matter what your personal fucking anecdote is whenever the graph of thousands of people, millions of people, says that you're wrong. Yeah, it's a collective, man. Track numbers. Viewership is the exact same after an ad plays. You can see the drop when it plays and it goes right back up. Yeah, people might click off and they come right back, and it doesn't really affect viewership. That's it. Let's see. I'll read a few more of these. Ads have 100% affected the viewership of small streamers who get their discoverability destroyed by pre-rolls. I think that you could be right about that part. Yeah, sure. I would maybe concede that. Sure. The collective says the Twitch friend... that Twitch is a fringe media side would be squashed. YouTube just invests a little in live streaming. Even if you don't see it at all, its affecting its effect on your growth could be greater. Yeah, but like what that's like such a hypothetical, right? So like what you're saying is that theoretically in a different world, maybe I could be right, but the numbers just simply don't reflect that. I think Twitch viewers don't switch between channels as much because they get hit by ads every time they jump around, so it would be a little bit more detrimental for smaller channels because
that makes
viewers aren't willing
sense,
to take the ads to see if they're worth watching. I think that you're very right about that. I think that pre-roll ads do hurt less established creators more. That's a very good point. The only real negative thing I've seen is there's a stigma with with ads that smaller creators face. So whenever folks get hit with an ad, they interpret it as being intentional from the creator. Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing, and that's like all valid. But another big one is definitely, I think the biggest problem is that the content, like, there's no stopping the like, you actually miss out on the content from the ads. Like, that is the most ridiculous system I've ever seen for that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to literally give up like, literally ruin your own content to put ads on there, right? Like, they gotta find a better way of doing that. There's gotta be a better way of doing that.
Maybe. But does it matter because that growth doesn't generate ad revenue anyways? It does if you... I can monetize things differently on streams because I
have no idea how they would do it, though.
Being able to make money off of people, right? Sure. But, and it's also, the reason also is because it's not an ultimate sense. And I remember we talked about this, but Twitch can't.
Come on,
Twitch
guys.
can,
We have no
it's
rings
more
dropped.
complicated.
No
Twitch
ring
dropped
drops this hour.
declined from 100K
None.
to
0.
200K per year since 2021.
I think we're gonna end the stream after this hour.
So
is
do you
done.
think that was because of the global pandemic receding?
I'm gonna make my
or because of
freaking
ads?
overloads.
I
And then
wonder.
freaking
because there were still a lot of ads in 2021.
Might stream again a little bit later.
There's a reason why like Meta and Twitter and all of these
especially
other
if we don't get a
also
freaking ring drop, man.
It's because there's been
I'll probably go
a
do my Gano task and then probably fucking we'll get like a dad
whenever
task
something affects
and
every
we'll try
single
another hour.
You would assume that the reason
I need to
why the
eat and
change
stuff,
is
too.
happening is
I'm, like,
not
really
due
hungry.
to the individual actions of that platform if all of them are being affected. It's just logic.
Bathroom break.
Anyway,
eat some
I think
food.
this is a very interesting video. This guy brought
Maybe
up
hit
a
a
number
workout.
of really good points. He's only got 3,000 subscribers. I think this is a really
That's
well
crazy.
reasoned video. A couple of things I disagreed with, but I think that he made some good points too. I'm going to link it to you guys so you can take a look at it.
For sure.
One of the most pernicious
If you're
ways that people
rationally
deny
like
crime,
thinking
deny
about
the
it, it makes a
increase in
lot of
crime,
sense.
and deny the devastating impact of policies like defund the police is to make the argument that this issue only rests on a dollar amount and say things like, well, they may have cut funding back in 2020, but right now at this point they've actually restored funding, and in some cases they've actually increased funding even when adjusting for inflation. And let's be 100% clear, upfront, honest, and transparent. In a lot of cases, like in the case with the Los Angeles Police Department, this is in fact true. However, this does not accurately and fully account for the devastation of policies like defund the police, because when you look at the LAPD, you realize that they have increased the amount that they're spending back to pre-George Floyd levels. However, they're spending a significantly higher portion of their money on overtime for police officers, and this is due in large part to the fact that the attitudes and
They have a
things
shortage,
that were
right?
going on related to policing during that period of time and the defunding of the police have actually caused a bunch of officers to retire and completely stifled recruitment.
Yo, man, I cannot blame that at all. Like, the whole defund the police bullshit, dude, really fucked a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are dead because of this shit, okay? Because it has ramifications, like he just said, way past the original problems that were going on. Because so many people that were doing the job, dude, like quit, freaking retired, you know, did all that stuff, moved on to other fucking things. Like, it is really crazy. And, you know, I'm not really sure what the thought process was behind that, if they're just like appeasing the mob or whatever, right, with that with those actions, or if it's some kind of agenda to increase like the privatization of policing, which is another fucking scary ass idea that might come of this. Is like, because the privatization of policing is a worrisome thing. There's a lot of less accountability when it comes to something like that, and it can really have detrimental effects on society as a whole.
And this has led the LAPD to go into desperation mode, and now they are lowering standards, which will give us poorer quality law enforcement, which
Yep,
ironically
that's another
will
terrible
end up
thing.
providing future justifications for police reform due to the fact that they just have lower quality
Yeah,
candidates.
it's a huge cycle
now,
there on that
we're
one.
going to get into this. We're going to do a deep
A
dive into the
secular
numbers and this local
problem.
news story, but before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who signed up over on my website, actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And thank you to my podcast listeners on Spotify, Apple's podcasting platform, and on Google Podcasts.
A lot of the people that are being hired right now should not be police officers.
LAPD officers and LA City personnel.
It's a danger. It's a direct danger to the public.
People
Yeah,
directly
dude.
involved in
Giving
the
these people
LAPD
guns, dude,
recruiting and
and a
hiring
badge,
process
like,
are going
a
public
whole
for the
bunch of,
first time
like-
with their concerns.
So the way this segment opens is with a bunch of officers saying that they're letting the floodgates open and having a lot of people join the force that are absolutely not qualified to be police officers. Now, there is one officer or former LAPD personnel that has decided to come and show his face, but you're going to find out what makes him distinct from these other people in the clip that
He's
I'm about to
retired,
show
huh?
you.
We're just
Or
letting the
what?
floodgates open to people that shouldn't be on the job.
Most of our sources asked us to protect their identities for fear of retaliation, but not James Williams. He supervised LAPD police backgrounds for 20 years. Williams retired a year ago.
So the key thing that I
Yeah.
want you to focus on right there is the reason why he's coming forward, the reason why he feels comfortable coming forward and isn't in fear of retaliation.
Because he's
And
not
that is
on the
because
job. Because you have to remember, like, these people are watching each other's backs on these calls, right? Like, if these people go out there and, like, throw their fellow officers under the bus, there's some shit that can go down when you're out on the street, right? And, like, rougher areas where, like, shit can get really dirty out there, man.
he's retired. He's living off the pension. He is one of the officers that left the force. And speaking of officers that left the force, I
Oh
think
my
it is
God.
incredibly crucial for us to get into the numbers so you can understand why the LAPD is desperately lowering their recruiting standards and thus is going to lead to worse qualified officers because they're in an incredible bind post George Floyd and the anti-cop sentiment.
I have nothing to gain from this, but it's the right thing to do.
Prosecute the police!
After the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020, followed by
Which I think was, like, it sucks that that dude died. I mean, I watched it a couple times. I mean, from the angles that we had, maybe there were some different angles that I didn't get to see, but it didn't look like that dude was just straight up like kneeing that dude's neck, right? Like it looked like it was on the back of his shoulders. And he was really subduing him. I mean, the dude was fucking huge, okay? And then he started, like, he was in the back of the fucking cop car, and then he started fighting and shit. Now, there were definitely enough police officers there that they should have, like, thrown him into the cop car, but it was also a problem with a whole bunch of people showing up and, like, surrounding these cops and not giving them space, right? Like, I think a good, couple feet there would have been nice. Like, you can stand, like, maybe 10 feet away and still have a really good view of what's going on, especially, like, with your camera and shit, right? Like, a lot of people were recording. I don't think you had to be, like, right up on those cops, right, to, like, document what the fuck was going on. I mean, I don't know if we can really hold that dude responsible 100%. I don't know if that dude should have gone to prison for that shit. I definitely think there was a better way to handle it. And after the dude stopped struggling there for a while, like, cause like like he was really just like trying to hold control of the dude, right, at the time being. But I think there was enough people there that once he stopped like struggling like hard at all, right, like he really like chilled out. I feel like they definitely should have checked on the dude and made sure he was okay, because he was kind of freaking out, right, once they tried to put him in the cop car. But I'm sure a lot of people probably freak out when they finally get to the, like, they're all chill, and then once they're actually, like, getting put into the back of the car, they're like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you see those videos all the time of people in the back seat, and they start, like, smacking their head against the windows, or they start fucking kicking the windows or the doors and shit, right? They lay down and do that shit in the back of the cop car. I mean, that's a tough one, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know if that dude should have been, like, maybe fired. But I don't know about going to prison for that. I mean, a dude did die, though, and he was responsible for that shit. There's definitely some rookies on there, but, like, there were a lot of chances where, like, people should have, like, held each other accountable and, like, looked out for each other a lot more than they did. It was really a terrible situation all around. There's a lot of just, like, better training that needed to be done, and, like, just there was a lot more options that they could have done than what they did. They could have sat that dude up against the fucking wheel right there, right? Like, they could have set him up against the car and, like, made sure he was okay. And it's not like the dude could just, like, spring up, right? Like, with his hands done behind his back and everything at the time. I'm pretty sure they had him already in handcuffs and everything. When that shit went down, you just sit him up, and, lean him up against the car and shit, and, like, you got 2 or 3 dudes there. I'm pretty sure you can hold them down, right? Like, if it came down to it, right? Like, you could get him back onto the ground. Dude was big, though. Not gonna lie, the dude was fucking
massive
big.
protests across the country and anti-police sentiment. Williams alleges the LAPD began making changes in its recruiting process.
So when I looked up the number of personnel in the LAPD, I found that on Wikipedia they actually had the active duty law enforcement personnel and the number of officers on the force
We might watch that
circa
later on.
2020, which is a great number to look at because
Maybe next
this is
stream.
the number pre the Black Lives Matter riots and pre George Floyd. And what we see is that they have really close to 10,000 officers, 9,974 to be specific. Now, if I go to an article last year, what
Man,
we
no
end up
ring, dude.
finding
We got
out
3
is
minutes.
that
We
the
got 3
LAPD
fucking minutes, dude. We gotta
post-George
get
Floyd,
one ring. Come
post-Black
on,
Lives
dude.
Matter riots actually
Give us another
experienced
fucking ring. It's
600
because I got 3
retirements
last hour,
from
dude.
police
That's why they're not
officers
gonna give us a
that were
fucking
working.
another one.
So this represents about
I wish I hadn't
6%
sold all
of
those
their
rings
entire
now. I
personnel
would add enough
working for
berserks,
the
enough fucking
LAPD as
seers,
police officers.
almost
They have
enough
civilian
archers.
arms.
We really need
That's
some more
not what I'm
archer
talking about.
drops.
I'm talking
Ain't
specifically
even hit 10
about
archer
the
drops
people
yet.
in uniform, the officers that were working the beat and all of that. Now, retiring officers is one thing, and by the way, they're losing about 50 a month because this was as of a year ago, and that would be perfectly fine as long as you were replacing those who were lost with new recruits. However, the recruiting class for the LAPD has been absolutely
Ran out of that
devastated,
shit.
and even with the lowering of the qualifications this year, you can see they were already drawing in way too many unqualified candidates. So one of the first things that you need to understand is
Another crazy thing, dude, is that like they probably have the same number of like unqualified candidates every year because a lot of people, you know, apply to these things and like do the schooling, do the academy and all that shit, and only a certain amount of people get through. So to lower your standards on top of where they were, if you are already unhappy with the way the police were doing their job and shit, just imagine how much worse it's gonna be. It's such a terrible idea, the fucking defund the police thing. No, dude, hold that guy accountable and like don't fucking take all their funding away and shit. Like they came up with a really good system. The LAPD has like a really good system where they like it's all like math and everything, right? Like they have a really good system with their I think it's CAD or something like that. And it's all like on where crime is like centered. They like do a whole bunch of like, you know, data point driven type policing where it's like they like patrol clusters of the city that have like higher crime than anywhere else, right? And they're able to like that's why they're able to manage it better than you would probably think, to be honest. Because LA is like a huge fucking place, dude, and there's people fucking everywhere, okay? Like, it's crazy.
Is that the LAPD, like the NYPD, actually canceled a recruiting class in the wake of the George Floyd incident and the Black Lives Matter riots as a part of the defund the police attitude. So when their retiring started, they were already
Come
behind
on,
the
22
eight ball
seconds.
in
Give me
that
a ring.
regard.
Give me an archer's ring
Now,
off
out
this,
of
dude. Archer's ring.
desperation,
Come on,
the
bro. Give me a fucking
LAPD
archer's
actually
ring.
is
Give me
trying
one
to
archer's
recruit
ring. Come
people
on.
on a monthly
I'm not asking
basis
for a lot
to
here. One
desperately
ring
get
this hour.
officers into the force. However, this is not
No.
leading to success. In fact, they had
We
recruiting class number
might get the ring. We might
322,
get
which is the one that was
one
featured
more
in
chance.
this
We
article,
might get a
and it
Sears ring
only
drop,
managed
maybe.
to produce 27 officers of that entire recruiting class. And again, this is before
Okay, we have
what
one
we can
chance
see
at a
in
berserker's
terms of
ring
the
here.
lowering of the
Come
qualifications,
on,
and they're
give us
still
the big
only
money
able to get
berserker ring.
27
5 mil.
people
Come
when
on.
they need about 60 a month, according to estimates, just to catch up with the retirees. But it actually is significantly worse
No.
than that. Because if the retirees were
Got
concentrated on
fucked,
beat-level
guys.
officers, then those would be presumably the easiest people to
That was
train
not
and
a good
replace.
hour.
But of course, that is not the case.
Not a good
Retirees tend to be in senior leadership positions,
I think we at least
and
broke
they
even,
also
though.
tend to work on crucial units. And due to the fact
We might
that
have
the
made some
changing
money.
tide post-Black
I mean, I'm
Lives
not
Matter
gonna
riots,
really.
and you have the
I'm
prosecutor
using
like
these
Gaston,
potions to
who's
like
not
make
really utilizing these units, we've
stuff,
seen
so
a
that really doesn't count,
disproportionate
to be
loss
honest.
in officer staffing from the most crucial
0.8 mil.
units.
Let's
Now,
take
with
these
these
guys
decline,
out of
you
here.
make hard choices, and the decline in numbers has caused the
1.6
city to suffer.
mil-ish.
Response times are now longer, before, and specialized units like fugitive
For an
warrants
hour
and
work
cold
on that one.
cases have either been
Unfortunate.
downsized or completely eliminated.
But,
now, there are few people
yeah.
more dangerous than fleeing fugitives of the law, and the LAPD is completely compromised in their ability to run these people down, so you have a lot more people with absolutely nothing
actually,
to lose
I think we're gonna run
out
Anime
on the
Dead.
loose in the city of Los Angeles, wreaking havoc on their citizens. And again, it's not going to get easier over time, because
I think I'm gonna go
what is
do
said
some,
in this news piece is true, and they're
whatchamacallit.
significantly lowering the qualifications, combined with asking these people to work more
Kinda sucks the
overtime,
spring
so these
cleaner doesn't
officers
give you
are
any
going to
stats.
be more tired on the job. You're
What a
obviously
waste.
going to lead to more terrible results, and more importantly, you're also going to lead to situations that are going to create big political scenes that, of course, are going to put more pressure on politicians in order to cut the funding from these officers. And as this happens, you essentially get into a cycle of a death spiral with the Los
This
Angeles
gives me the
Police
full
Department.
prayer,
And again,
though.
I need to make this
This only gives
100%
me
clear.
one prayer.
This is not just limited to Los Angeles. It's not just the LAPD.
I need to upgrade
This
this.
is a
But the
similar
one prayer
trend that
is
we're seeing
nice
happening
with
everywhere. But
the
their
range
current
setup instead of
solution
just Dino
is not the proper
arrows, right?
way. It is not the proper resolve to have when facing these levels of
Sucked,
adversity.
bro.
We were
Man.
given direction
Okay.
to focus more on diversity candidates, which we always have. Regardless of the candidate, the good ones always float to the top.
But he says if the top-tier candidates were not from a specific minority
So
group,
we should
They didn't
throw.
want them, so they sat on the shelf.
I myself am a minority, and I completely believe in diversity in the department because that's what makes Los Angeles a great city. But we need to hire good, qualified candidates that can do the job.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I want to point out that a lot of people are going to say that, oh, them always looking for diversity is indicative of them losing quality, but that is not the case. Typically, police departments like the Los Angeles Police Department have a flood of candidates due to the fact that they offer stellar benefits and whatnot, and in the case specifically of Los Angeles, diversity can be an asset. For instance, if you're dealing with Hispanic recruiting, that could help because you need a lot of bilingual people in order to deal with the large Hispanic population in the city of Los Angeles. However, what he is describing here is that if they're not from the specific minority group, if they don't fit in within the quota system that was instituted that is distinct from what they had before, then they just don't want these officers. So at the same time, they're in an absolutely devastating death spiral, people retiring, they're actually churning away some of the most qualified officers based solely on the color of their skin, based on the fact that they're not from a protected class, because the already diverse LAPD is trying to become more diverse in this regard. And again, it's actually going to get significantly worse because not only are they turning down qualified white candidates, unlike before, they're not looking for the same standard of minority candidate, and that's going to lead to more issues like corruption from law enforcement.
They started manipulating the standards and the guidelines, which that was a major issue with me.
the hiring standards are created by POST, the Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training. Candidates have to go through the peace officer selection process that includes a written exam, physical ability test, and background investigation.
Now, I want to point out that we've already seen throughout the history of police departments in this country them lower the physical requirements to become a police officer in an effort to recruit more women. Now, a lot of police work is actually done at the desk level, so this actually did not significantly negatively impact police officers, although I will say it does seem to be an interesting trend of female officers going to their gun first because they don't have the physical presence in order to deal with a threat. But overall, policing did improve, even though they reduced some of the physical standards for these local police departments. This is because they were recruiting for intellectual capacity and other things that were a good substitute for those physical losses. However, they're now dropping off from those standards as well.
All law enforcement agencies in California must abide by those guidelines if they want certification for their academies and officers.
Might as well just go back and grab Anime Dead stuff.
Can't do that. It's illegal. We're governed by post standards. We're governed by government codes as well.
Williams claims it didn't matter to the department. He and other sources say the LAPD is making it too easy to be an officer.
Again, this should be incredibly concerning no matter what side of the issue you're on, and this is one of the reasons why I heavily cautioned against the idea from reformers that we should cut the funding to the police, because I knew that later on, just restoring that same previous dollar amount was not going to replace the level of talent.
I don't remember what I needed for it
This is one
now.
of the reasons why I was totally not in favor of vaccine mandates when it came to medical staffers, because when your hospital loses a surgeon, when they lose somebody of high qualifications, it's not like there's another guy in the pipeline that is available anywhere in the country that can just be substituted if you offer them the proper dollar amount.
Because of a staffing crisis.
They're not waiting for the best possible candidate to come by. Almost feels like they don't have that time to do it. They want to meet the numbers now.
And typically, even though the LAPD has had a series of problems throughout their history, when you have such a large recruiting base as is Los Angeles, you tend to get some of the highest quality candidates. And California, by the way, has statewide standards that all officers need to meet regardless of the department. And I actually agree with that, because what we often see is small town police officers are sincerely lacking in those standards. But guess what? They're subverting that in the police department that serves the largest city in their state.
So what were the
Grab some
standards
food and
before
stuff.
compared to now?
So the physical
Oh,
fitness
son of a
qualifier, you're supposed to have
bitch.
at least a 50% to get into the
God, I'm not on
academy.
Ancients.
We're now hiring people with 40, 30, and in some cases lower than 10% physical scores.
Oh,
Is that
the
not
pain.
absurd? They're hiring people who not just meet 50% of the physical requirements, but are as low as 10% in order to increase the number of diverse candidates in their officer staffing. That's absolutely crazy, in my opinion.
What they're doing is not helping. They're creating doubt
Hell
in the public's
yeah.
mind.
Chief Michael
Some
Moore
Gano
says
boots,
the
baby.
LAPD is not lowering the standards, but the hiring
Killing it.
practices have evolved through the years.
When you're eliminating people to be a member's organization because you can't run a mile and a half in 12 minutes, you got to ask yourself, when's the last time an officer ran a mile and a half? And understand it. Is that still relevant?
Yes, it's definitely still relevant. You should be able to
Definitely
do
still
that. You're not
relevant.
running or training to run a mile and a half in 12 minutes because an officer does that frequently. You're doing that because if you can hit that benchmark, you can typically outrun or outlast a fleeing criminal in a shorter distance. This should be the most obvious thing in the world. What this man is saying is absolutely
Not only that, the
madness.
healthier
I'm unsurprised.
people that you, because like the job is already like has a ton of risk, right? Like I'm assuming the insurance on on an officer is already probably quite a hefty cost. So the healthier that they are, right, the less health problems that they have and stuff, the better in shape that they are, on top of being able to catch criminals, is probably nice, right? It's probably a good thing to have. To be 100% honest, right? Like, see, why was that so much more? It's weird. That was like 50 fucking K worth of stuff. I guess it was just the quantity that was dropped.
That the commissioner is named Michael Moore because he's feeling like that other Michael Moore that hangs out in Los Angeles a little bit too much.
Our sources say the written exam is a lot easier because now it's a multiple choice test.
The written exam, we've had that test for years. And since I've gotten there, they've eased up on the standards of that written exam.
We moved to a multiple question test in place of a narrative because we saw that the narratives were judged subjectively. They were not consistent as far as people who passed or who didn't pass.
Now look, you might say that the written exam being switched to multiple choice is no big deal. You've taken a lot of multiple choice exams in your history, but actually having the ability to write as an officer is crucial because your police reports that you write down get scrutinized in a court of law and they get presented to a jury.
So it's
one of the things officers
different
actually really
qualifications.
need is good writing skills so that they can have everything on track, because even something as simple as crossing out a word could be examined by an intelligent defense attorney and could mean the difference between a conviction at some of the highest charges versus the lowest charges, based on the idea that maybe they can argue that the officer changed his mind at one point or another. So writing something in a smart, intelligible way, in a narrative way, as was tested in the previous test, seems like it is a valuable skill, even if superficially you might think it's not. However, we haven't even gotten to the absolute best part. We haven't even gotten to the meat, potatoes, and vegetables, eat your vegetables, kid, part of this video.
In the past, a background investigation revealing a candidate's bad credit or financial problems could have resulted in rejection. Not anymore. Williams, who used to be a cop for a different agency before becoming a background investigator and supervisor, says it's dangerous to hire people with money problems.
People that are in deep financial problems often are tempted by money. The temptations out there on patrol are vast. You may pull over a drug dealer with hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you hire somebody without integrity, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to steal.
They're no longer screening out people with significant problems financially, which the reason why they do this is because we used to have a huge problem with economic corruption in our police departments, and people being in debt were more vulnerable to bribery and from taking
I
stuff
mean, that
from
seems
scenes
pretty
of
logical.
crimes and whatnot, and this leads to poorer, worse behavior. Part of the
Yeah.
professionalization of police in order to address that issue was screening for things like debt, connections to criminal organizations, possible debts to criminal organizations, credit checks, and all of that. And that is being removed, and clearly and obviously you can see how that would lead to somebody being very vulnerable. You can't get a security clearance in the United States of America if you have a significant amount of debt and you are considered compromised in that regard.
I do worry about officers who
Click on the
would
damn
fall
dude.
prey to bribery. The reality is that unfortunately this profession and this own department in the past decades have had those individuals with what I guess those same critics would say a more stringent standard. Well, if it was such a stringent standard and it was so great, how did those failures occur?
So this absolute doofus, this absolute word that will probably get this video demonetized on YouTube, said, oh, well, we've had problems in the past with our current standards. They're not 100% perfect, so if we remove them, I'm sure the problem will get better. And they show